Oh no.
Test. Okay. Yeah, I recently figured out that OBS has a built, like you can put a noise gate on OBS, and I was like, oh, finally I
Yeah.
can take my clicks out of the stream.
Yeah, the noise gate's good for, when you're heavy breathing too, you know, when things get excited and you're
Wait,
Yeah.
is it in the setting? I never. I don't think I've ever
Like
used it.
It's an audio filter, I think.
Yeah, if you go to the little gear by your mic and you go you add filter, then you could add a noise gate, and it's
Oh, yeah.
so nice because I watched one of my death clips, and you would just hear this, and I was like, "Is that
Yeah.
how my stream sounds all the time? That's annoying."
Yeah, sometimes when I get to like spamming, like when I'm healing and someone's like about to die, I start spamming my fucking buttons and it's just so loud. Yeah.
Yep,
I'll have to
and
try that. I'll have to try that for
yeah,
sure.
it's super cool. I've
Nice.
It
I've
also
been
lets you
really
keep your
liking it.
mic, like, really gainful, have really high gain, but you won't constantly pick up background noise. But if there's only background noise when you're talking, it's not as noticeable because you're, like, the majority of the audio. So
Yep.
it's really useful.
Yeah, you kind of have to mess with it. Like when I first set it up, it was kind of clipping a bit, but a person in my chat kind of helped me test it out, helped me get it all good. All right,
Nice.
all right. God,
Go back.
it's been we took a week off, and now I don't remember how to do the show. What am I looking for? All right, I'm looking for my intro.
Bob every week.
I know, right?
Oh,
Oopsie, took a week off.
all right. Oh yeah, tweet. Let me retweet the tweet.
Oh, I could put an announcement in my Discord that we're live on your channel as well.
Sweet.
Do that.
Yip can do our Discord.
Way ahead of you.
Mel can just sit here.
If I have to log in real quick and check my mail, that won't record the game, right? Audacity won't record the game
Nah,
settings.
No,
it'll
Okay.
it
be
should
your microphone.
only be your microphone.
Because I gotta craft something for someone, and I don't want to wait. I want to get it done now, so I just want to do that real quick.
Yeah, could do me a favor and be just a little soft with the clicks that I could.
Yeah,
I
won't
cut them out a
I
little easier.
shouldn't have to use any clicks really. Just like click the thing I'm making and then send mail, and I'm done.
Sweet.
And type a letter out on a mechanical
Yeah.
keyboard.
Yeah.
Dearest Gildy, I've created your.
Something. Yeah. We painstakingly braved the mountain to get you your. I guess you do have to do that for the rag hammer, don't you?
Oh yeah, you have to go to what do you call? Yeah, Blackrock
Yeah,
Depths.
yeah, the big anvil. That was epic. Like that was a cool
That's
thing.
so cool. They kept shit like that in, man. Like that, they got rid of stuff like that. Just so dumb. You know?
It's epic until you have to make like your fire set. I'm pretty sure any of the Thorium Brotherhood pieces you had to go to Blackrock for. Like I'm pretty sure you have to go to the special anvil, or maybe it's just a smelt. I don't know. You had to go over there for a lot of blacksmithing.
You had to go there to smelt, I think,
The
right?
dark iron, yeah. It's like, oh, this stupid anvil.
Well, then
It is cool though.
making flasks. You had to go to like.
I think they should
Like,
keep that.
was
Make
it
me
like
clear
BWL?
Make me clear Scholar BWL still right now if I want Flask. That's what you need.
That would be hilarious.
Make people play the game.
Speaking of which, we're doing Nax tonight. What?
Oh,
You're
good
not.
for you guys.
Nice.
Bob and Mel don't show up on Thursdays, so.
Yeah, I always show up when I can.
How dare you?
Saturdays is what you're thinking of.
That's what I'm
And
thinking.
Saturdays, we usually do things.
I don't show up when they're optional.
Thursday's always optional these days with the nerf content.
Oh, then maybe I won't show up.
I've showed up to every raid since I think there was one I couldn't go through because was it when we went to BlizzCon or something like that? But like since our guild inception in Classic, I've been at every raid.
That's
Need to
awesome.
say that, yeah.
Yep. Also,
I technically missed one when I went on vacation, but I could have played on my laptop. But I I let another warrior have a chance to main tank stuff. I was like, I'll just not come. Because I feel bad. Like, here's another warrior. We're never gonna run 2 warriors. Let's give this guy a little
Yeah, I
little
think that might have
opportunity.
been 2 then. I think I was on vacation too, but yeah. I mean, it's like you have an important role, right? You're as a
Main tank,
healer, and
right?
yeah, exactly.
I
Oh,
Or
I
have.
think
main
it's about
tank,
Yip.
or
Yeah,
yeah,
Yip's a tank.
yeah,
I'm
tank,
a
right? Yeah,
I'm a DPS and I've missed
Mhm.
very few. The only times I've missed
Yeah.
is when moving, and
And if there's a Chiefs game.
I'm still there though. I'm just watching the Chiefs game too.
Oh, that's funny.
I try to go when I go out of town for work. Sometimes it goes better than others.
We now have enough
Yeah.
healers that you're technically allowed to not come. But we
Well, s
appreciate when you come.
yeah. Well, see, I work from home and everything like that, so it's not like it's I know other people who have like kids and jobs that are like outside. It's a lot harder for them,
Yep.
so I understand that. I
I
just
mean,
have no life, so
if you raid on the listen, if you raid on the weekend, I can understand missing some. Who is
yeah,
doing anything on Tuesday night during a pandemic? Like, and it's been a pandemic this entire time. Like,
yeah,
like you don't have anywhere to be. No one has anywhere to be on Tuesday night.
yeah.
I'm
True.
sorry. That's my
I have sleep to get.
that's fair. But
That's
I'm
usually
East
what
Coast.
competes.
I'm East Coast. I'm like the bench setter. If I'm if I'm there.
All right, you guys ready to get this started?
I'm ready, baby.
Right.
Let's do it.
All right, this is just for me. Welcome to Warcraft Reloaded, a podcast brought to you by Mash Those Buttons, covering World of Warcraft Classic, TBC Classic, and its community. I am Bobby, also known as Blazing Bob, and today we're joined by Mel, aka Melorita. How you doing?
I wasn't ready for you to say me first. I'm great. Wonderful.
Good, good, good. And we're also joined by Ryan, aka The Yip Show.
Hi. Hi, Bob. I wasn't asked how I was, so I'll just say hello and we'll move on.
Well, I have to change it up sometimes. And then coming for his monthly visit, we have Melderon. How you doing?
Great. Thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
Thanks for coming back. And surprise guest. We have a packed house today. We have Defcamp. How are you doing?
Hell, Packer. Yeah, I'm doing great. Thank you for inviting me here, guys. It's a pleasure.
Can we get a good morning Warcraft Reloaded?
You ready for this? Let me move the mic away. Here we go.
I'm ready.
All right. Good morning, Warcraft leader. Yeah, fuck. Good morning. Fuck, I can't say it. Warcraft Reloaded. There we go.
Oh, that was actually perfect. That made it actually
Oh,
perfect.
better.
We need the audio snippet with the fuck in it. That use that for something.
Now the best would have been if like somehow you like messed up the word. Like what would be a funny one? Warcraft.
We voted or something.
Yeah, because you always like mix up words and stuff.
Oh, dude, I do all the time.
Oh, what
Yeah,
would be a
yeah.
good Defcampism for Warcraft Reloaded?
It's like improv night right now.
I know, right?
You can only say it in the form of a question, though.
I'd probably surprise you guys, but it'd probably hopefully be would it be something that's TOS or something? I don't know.
I'm pretty sure my favorite one is your love for braziers.
Oh,
And
braziers, yes.
those fiery braziers.
I still to this day, every time I see it, I still the first thing that comes to my head is brazier, not brazier, not whatever. It's just brazier. Yeah.
I mean, it's just not that is not an English pronunciation of like these little torch. Just call them a torch. Call
Yeah,
'em a torch.
torches.
That
But-
sound doesn't exist in the English language anyway.
Yeah,
Ugh.
yeah. It's I don't know. Like I share this with my mom for some reason. And the older I get, the more I do this. My mom just mispronounces things all the time. She calls me like she'll be talking to the dog, and she'll like Matthew, Philip, and and like we'll call the dog like my name and Melderon's name. But she does this thing where she always like mispronounces names and all. We had Melderon's friend came over one time. His name's Vlad, and she kept on calling him Valve. She called him Valyrian one time.
I don't know where I don't know where she got Valyrian from. Like that's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
Well, from
But
ancient
guys ever do-
Valyria, of course.
Yeah.
mm.
Yeah.
I feel like when I mess somebody's name up once, then I like
Yeah.
overthink it every time I try to say it, and I'm like, wait, is that the messed up way to say it, or was that the corrected way to say it? And I just screw it every time.
Yeah,
Yep, yep.
I feel like I have just so much like going on in my head at one moment that's why I fuck things up so much. You know what I mean? I either say the wrong thing or something just blurts out. Like the one time when the guy asked me what flavor my vape juice was, and for some reason I just blurted out the word cock, and I have no idea why, but I did, and now it's a meme. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know why I do these things, but I do. It's
Sounds
just the way my
tasty,
brain
though.
works. Yeah. Yes.
A little salty.
Little salty.
Gross.
Sorry. Okay, so all right,
Alright.
reeling it back in. So,
Too
guys,
far.
we are we're gonna have a good show tonight. We've got a lot in the top end of the show. We're gonna go over some emails, no new reviews. We're going dry for about a month now, so help us out with those on iTunes and on warcraftradio.com. But we're gonna go through what we've been doing lately, and wow, it's gonna be like quite a bit because we haven't talked to Def in forever. So we're gonna go through that, and then we're gonna go through some news. If there's time left, we might have a discussion, just an open forum of just something to talk about. So sit back, relax, and let's get this party started. We had a follow-up email from Goal, and maybe Yip, before reading this one, you should explain the email from last week pertaining to
Well,
Melderon.
last week we got an email. Well, actually, I feel like this
Alright,
is an email
let's
from
just
a
say
long time ago. I think this is the email we put off for a long time. That said, I believe quote unquote was I fucking rate Melderon. It might have just been I rate Melderon. Um, and we were like, he must mean hate. Even though he said I rate Melderon, I always look forward to when he comes on each month. And I was like, well, maybe he likes hate watching, you know, like he wants to hear all of Melderon's bad opinions. But
Interesting.
we did get a follow up. First off, I don't fucking hate Melderon. I love that guy.
Aw.
Where I'm from, rate someone is like you rate it well. You really like it. I don't know. I don't make up the slang here. Okay. So rate someone
Oh,
means
right.
good. And then I went through, I went through a little bit of my own research here on the terminology rate. And I don't see, and I could be wrong here. I do see that the definition can say to consider someone or something has a particular quality or particular level of standard, but every example used quantifies or like qualifies what rate means. She is rated very highly. Many voters rate the environment as the number one issue. So like there's usually some kind of qualification involved. But then took it to the next level here. It's just like the word parse. We all say, I'm parsing. That doesn't mean you parsed. Parsing doesn't mean you achieved a high level,
True.
right?
True.
But we use it that way now. So
Yeah.
it's almost exactly the same. Where you say rate, you say parse. It's the same diff. So, we're gonna let that one slide. We'll allow this European slang, presumably.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess
Um,
it's English or something.
yeah, I think almost definitely.
Jolly
But that's
ho.
good. I don't think we didn't really think you meant that, but it is good to have that follow up. But we
It's
also
way
got
more
more.
comical, though, to think that he was saying he hates Melderon.
It is funny.
Right.
I fucking hate Melderon. I can't wait to listen to him again.
Yeah.
Like that's just so
Yeah.
funny.
I thought he was calling you irate, like Melderon
Which I
is
can
irate.
be.
Yeah,
Which
yeah.
I can
Yeah.
be sometimes. That's true.
But he does have more of a follow up. We actually asked him how his guild was doing after the nerfs, because he had a bit of turnover in the guild. But their guild, he says, my guild is 9 of 10 at the moment after nerfs. We had a massive push on Vash on the last 2 nights before nerfs, but just couldn't get her down in her last phase. I boiled it down to not having attempts on her before the big roster changes. If it's before the nerfs, it might have just been Thornlings, because I don't think we did it a single time without Thornlings pre-nerf. So
Yeah, that was.
if you were
that was huge.
if you were struggling on phase 2, I feel like phase 3 is really hard without some level of cheese.
Yeah.
But I boiled it down not having enough attempts earlier. We had a lot of trouble / RNG issues with Morgrim too. Yes, Morgrim is a
Yeah.
little bit.
Yeah, he can be really hard.
Yeah, sometimes you'll just wipe pre-nerf. Sometimes you would just
Oh
wipe
yeah,
and
you have a bad night and boom, and you die to it. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
your
yeah.
pally gets bubbled.
Yep.
2 or
Yep.
3 healers get bubbled at the same time.
Yep. And I, being a holy priest, I have such issue with threat on that fight, and even with salve, and even with my talented and threat, it's But now with nerf, how they die so quick, it's a joke. Yeah.
I don't
It
really
is a
do you
joke.
caliber
Mel,
that
Mhm, mhm,
well, you're actually healing me
Yeah,
on
that's
that,
true.
Mel. So that might be the
mhm.
the
Yeah, I
the
circle of
difference
heal
there.
everyone up so I get so much
Oh,
threat.
yeah, no,
Yeah,
if I
we
circle of heal more than once, it's like,
Mhm.
you're dead.
don't
Yeah.
even bother, right? Like when we were progressing, because Morgrim did give us trouble. I think we had to take 2 weeks to get Morgrim down or something.
Mhm.
We were definitely like, no one heal anybody who isn't
Yeah.
the tank
Mhm.
after the
Yeah.
tanks come
And then
down.
we had weird problems with health stones and stuff, getting
Okay,
aggro.
okay, we get it. Yip died once and used the health stone. Let's keep bringing it up.
That's
Um,
funny.
But goal finishes, TK was easy once we did it once, and I pretty much agree with that. No
Mm,
KT kill though, as all our focus went into SSC and Bash. Thanks so much
mm,
for giving my email all the attention. I've got some time off around Christmas and New Year's period, so I'll jump into one of your Twitch streams soon. Iron Man, by the way, for the Horde. Bob nailed it in the low, deep tone. Warcraft
mm.
Reloaded #1 fan, goal, and just for that, we'll give you a special for the Horde.
For the
You
Horde.
can enjoy that
Hmm.
one.
I like
Uh,
Bob's rendition.
Hell
Bob's
I
yeah.
I tried
Bob's
like
more
3,
accurate.
and that was the only one that was. The rest of them, I can't believe I didn't just cut out of the episode because they were so bad. But that was the best one.
And then we have one other email as well too. Bob Mel, yep. Loving the podcast. You guys are awesome. No idea how Mel finds time to work, play, and chat on the show. Heroic effort. I totally agree.
Same.
I Bob, your editing skills get better every week, and yep, your stories rule. Keep them coming. Which brings me to my advice. You got called out last week, episode 76, for drifting too much away from the core of the show. Too much PvP chat. I completely disagree. I listen because when you guys get going on a topic you love and you're bouncing off each other, it's brilliant entertainment. That could be PvP, stories about hotels and singing conventions, or Road to
Oh, that
Rag.
was funny.
Oh yeah,
Wait,
Melderon was on for
deviating?
that. Yep.
Yeah, I was deviating from the show notes. That never happens on this podcast. What are you talking about?
Never. Anything you have a passion for, bring the energy and the story to Warcraft Reloaded. Likewise, if something's annoying you, just leave it. Let another podcaster do the moaning and send their audience looking elsewhere. You deserve to be massive. Our job as your listeners is to get you there. In the meantime, keep making us smile for the Alliance! This is Ooks on Pirewood Village, London, England. I bet this guy knows what rate means.
Maybe.
I was gonna do my most terrible English accent, but I can't.
Yeah. Well, which one can you do? Because there's so many different ones.
Oh, the Cockney versus the proper one. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Well,
I can't
Cockney's
do
like
it.
Yo, Waika.
not even accent. Like it's like a rhyming thing. Like it's like a whole way of speaking. Like a
I
whole
feel
other
like we're getting really
language.
down the weeds in this.
You're a
Bob,
fucking
they call
wanker.
it-
That's
yeah,
all.
that's the Gordon
You
Ramsay.
fucking
yeah.
wanker.
You're a fucking wanker.
It's
We're
a
the
dialect.
Peaky fucking blinders.
Imagine. You guys can't tell, but I have to raid soon. And
That sucks.
Oh,
What guild are
man.
you in?
one where I care about my fellow raiders.
I'll
having
be
bad
coming.
perform
Yep,
cards.
I'll be there.
But
I'll
thank
be
you guys so much
there.
for your emails. We always really appreciate them, as well as your reviews, which Bob is going to cry himself to sleep tonight as we did not receive any. But thank you guys very much. We always appreciate it.
Yes, thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you so much. All right, guys. This is a loaded question because I know Yip's got a lot to say. I know Mel's got a lot to say. I know Melderon and Defcamp have a lot to say. Who wants to go first?
Do I have a lot
What's-
to say?
What's
What
the
have we been
What have
doing
we
this
been doing?
week? This last for Defcamp, like just since he's last been on. But I mean, What have we been doing lately in WoW? Who wants to start?
Well, I've got a lot to say. Maybe I should go last. I don't know.
I'll go first because
Okay.
there's really only one thing that matters. Before I talk about what I did in these last week or two, I have something to get ahead of, some drama that might come out, some breaking news that I might need
Oh,
to
Yip's getting canceled.
apologize.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
I may get canceled here, so it's important that everyone understands, and I do apologize. But going forward, I will be a bear druid
I
and
knew you
not
were
a
going to say that. No.
and no longer a warrior tank.
Yeah.
Hell
I'm gonna
yeah,
be
dude.
I'm gonna be honest. Yeah, right, Pally. I'm gonna be honest. Bears are better than warriors,
Dude,
and
okay.
as a good player, I can no longer stand by the wayside and be a warrior.
It's
I mean, we
so
we did the same thing,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I actually am thinking about, well, not in TBC, but when Wrath comes out, I'm thinking about switching my main to actual bear druid because I've been healing like my whole WoW career. I want to do something different, so that's awesome, man.
well, I
Well,
Yeah.
tanked DM as a bear just last night, so if you need
Ah.
any advice, you can talk to me. No, but I thought it was
Not
crazy, Yep.
Fireball, Dead Minds, yes.
yeah, in
I don't want to
hold on, in vanilla. Let's
I don't want to jump ahead of your like story, but you did bring your bear in this last raid night when we did 10 of 10 in one, 3 hours thing, and it was amazing how much undergeared you were compared to your warrior, and you
Mhm.
still just destroyed it. So like
Yeah,
that's
it was
probably what you want
basically
to talk about.
exactly the same. Yeah, the conclusion is just, I brought it sort of as a test, but I had my assumptions. I like playing warrior. I think I'm a good warrior. Every week I legendary parse like across the entire raid, right? Like I legendary everything. Many 99.
Now
I know how to play warrior.
to be
Now
fair, there's very few warrior takes, so a little easier to parse. I'm just saying,
it's actually there's actually 77,000 parses, so let's be honest. Um,
It's
you
not
ta
like
ta
parsing as a warlock, though.
take your median 75 and go sit down for a second, bud.
I love it.
Um,
Just keep it
but
real. Just keep it real.
despite all of that, my bear performed almost exactly the same as my bissed out
Wow.
warrior. The
Yeah.
only issue with the bear is the snap threat is much, much worse. I mean, I
Right.
generate less threat, but I wasn't threat capped on my warrior, but druids also just bring so much to the table in the form of leader of the pack, in the form of
Mhm.
I've got innervate. I've got
Battle
I
res,
was I
yeah.
was battle resing, I was innervating people the other night. It was like incredibly different than my warrior who just sort of
Mhm.
like it's like a stubborn, like, self-pride, like, "Look, conform to me and look how good I am. I require wind fury." Like, I'm sorta over all that. The bear's really good, that's the gist. So what I've been doing is getting my bear ready. I need to PvP, I need to rep grind. I am attuned to everything now, so I am good to go for, like,
Mm.
Highjaw and Black Temple, after the one bring him in for 1 week. But my phase 1 Bis Druid, performs pretty much just as well as my phase 2 Bis Warrior, and I play Warrior at a much higher level than Druid, and obviously Druid is easy, so it's not that crazy, but
Well, okay,
I
you
mean
say it's easy, but what makes, I think, Druid harder is doing those things like innervates, battle reses, popping pots, like the
yeah, but
different things.
I don't need to measure myself on that because I didn't have that on my warrior. I'm measuring myself on damage taken per second and my threat and my DPS. My druid does way more overall damage as far as trash and bosses go, even if my warrior can out DPS my druid in like some bosses where I can dual wield. Damage taken per second was like literally almost identical across the board from my warrior and my druid on like mitigation heavy fights. And then the threat was worse on Druid, but it still, I don't think, was threat capping anybody for the most part. Maybe on some pulls because I have like no expertise on my Druid. So I'll get like a dodge, a parry, a dodge, and then people are starting to pull. But as long as that doesn't happen, my threat is
I mean,
out
honestly,
threat anybody.
I didn't see any problems. I mean, it is nerfed, but like, I mean,
Well, yeah,
honestly,
the
it's
threat
almost
is
easier to pull threat on the nerfed stuff because, it's so quick. Like, you
you
don't have
guys do go
time.
crazy. But I mean, that's all I need to talk about. I'm getting enchanting. I'm gonna be one of these horrible druids that doesn't get engineering because I have engineering in my warrior and I just don't feel like doing it. I need enchanting on one of my tanks so I can make some money because I'm broke and I want to. If I'm gonna be doing dungeons for rep, I'm gonna be taking all those items and disenchanting.
Oh, the ring enchant's nice too.
Ring enchant is nice. I'm
Yeah.
dual crafting engineering. I got like some static PVE bonuses that I enjoy. Not more buttons to press. Like I don't want to deal with these complicated like I need to sapper and then turn back into a bear. Like I don't like
No,
bears,
no.
bears are crazy. So
Yeah.
uh that's all I've been doing. I need to get my bear up to snuff, but yeah, when I say easier too, I forgot to mention, it's not just easier in the fact that things are the same. Bears literally are just warrior, like their rotation is warrior, but simpler and then better. So it's just there's just no
Mm.
competition at all.
Yeah.
You've got Mangle is your shield slam. You don't have revenge. You don't have you don't have shield block. You
Yeah.
don't have defensive cooldowns you need to think about. You just sit there hitting your 3 buttons. And
Yep.
Yeah, it's not even worth using Barskin, right? Because you have to come out of form for it, right?
exactly, to come out of
Yeah.
form for Barkson. So maybe on pull you can launch it, or
Yeah.
going in, during different phases you can do some of that stuff. But even if
No,
I'm not doing it, I 1-to-1 beat out my warrior pretty
I
much.
mean, just
Wow.
know this, that I'm your healer, so if I am out of mana, now it's your responsibility to
Well, we
innervate me.
might we don't
Ooh, nice.
I don't even need that armor buff anymore. On my warrior, I'm desperate for that armor buff from
Really?
combat.
What inspiration? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I'll take
Yeah.
it on like an aggressive. Like I can be
Yeah.
armor. I can in phase 1 gear. I can be armor cap. That ain't right. That's
damn,
like
really? I didn't know that.
Damn, man.
including. So I say phase 1 gear, but that includes like badge of tenacity and stuff
Right.
Okay.
like
Okay.
that where I
Yeah.
can like easily get. But I've only been into one phase 2 raid and I got 0 gear and I've been armor capped and on
Mm.
Fathom Lord
Jesus.
I armor
That's
capped.
Wow.
crazy.
Do you ever
It's pretty.
do you ever pre-hot yourself on pole on
Of
bosses to
course,
like? Yeah, dude, I've
higher threat
found that's
too.
really cool. Yeah.
Yeah. It's so bears. I mean, I don't think druids are cool. I'm gonna be honest. I'm a
Oh.
begrudging. I'm gonna begrudge myself here. I think druids are weird.
I
I don't
agree.
like I don't like that I'm also part rogue because I absolutely detest anything that has yellow bar, which is sometimes a druid. Uh, I had the yellow bar for Solarian, which is a horrible trend. I guess I'm getting into raid stuff, but uh, not main tanking. I'm afraid. I don't want to be a cat. That's that's for sure.
Wow.
Even if
Yeah,
I
I hear you, dude. Yeah, it's tough because I think you enjoy the finesse of warrior like I do. Like there's a lot of finesse, and you don't have that with bear. And I think that's one of the things that I miss.
But the
If
cool
I
thing
was,
about cats is
yeah,
when they're not tanking, they can do really good DPS.
Yep.
My
You know,
warrior,
that's yeah.
warrior does underrated DPS. Warrior can pump when you're not tanking as well, because if you're rocking like PvP gear with a couple of PvE DPS gear, which most guilds are not running a ton of plate wear, so you can pick up a lot of it. Like I can main tank do 1200 to 1300 DPS, and then if I'm off tanking or something, I think cat has a higher can do more. I
Mhm.
can't do more as a cat right now.
Okay. Yeah.
I think that's because with warrior, you just heroic strike, devastate, and devastate with dragon strike it's so rewarding. Like it feels really really good.
yeah,
Um, but we won't talk about that anymore because warriors in the garbage.
Oh my
yeah.
It's
We
so
actually did a
gosh.
sad.
similar thing.
Yeah,
We recruited a second bear tank because of that, and Al's going to probably switch to DPS in the next
Yeah.
phase. Yep.
I think what sucks about bear is you just like can't see your armor. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, there's so many
Mhm.
downsides. Yeah.
but I
Yeah.
mean, there's a lot of people. A lot of people use the fish and stuff to like change into like the pirates and like
You can use
I
Noggenfogger to turn
like
into a skeleton. Yeah.
I just turned that off. Like I click those off because like I like to see my armor, and as a bear, you just can't see it, and that's kind of the bummer of it.
Yes, I do commission my character too to get digitally created. So I guess I'll just be a bear. I guess I can just steal art from someone else. Hey,
Mhm.
any old alliance bear looks exactly the same. So there is a lot of bummers that are involved with druid, but when it comes to raid going smoothly, I think druid will be cool. Plus, like doing threat and taking no damage is kind of incredible. Like I have no
Mhm.
gear and I'm rocking over 50% dodge, and when I hit my badge of tenacity, it's like 63% dodge, and you just don't get hit. It's really
Yeah.
really
Yeah. Well,
It's great for your healer too. Just saying.
Maybe
Yeah, it is.
Mel and I should go next, then and we'll leave the last for Defcamp and Melderon.
Sounds good.
So, where do I... It's been 2 weeks. Last time you guys heard, we were into the hardcore challenge. Well, lots happened since then. So, basically, I guess we'll start at the first death since you guys heard us. Because last time you heard us, I died for the first time on my lock, like, trying to fight Princess. But
not the last time.
Well, that was the last podcast. We talked about that.
Oh, okay, right.
So the first death for Mel and I's duos was the Warlock Priest. And we're just turning in quests in Stormwind. And Melissa walks to go turn in a quest that's over by the Ani attunement quest. And she's like, hey, can I walk through here? And before I could give an answer, I was like, I don't know. I've actually never thought about
We've
that.
already talked about this.
No, we didn't talk about this on the
Did we?
No,
Did
we
we
didn't.
really not talk about
We-
this on the show?
No, we didn't. We
I have
didn't.
so much to make fun of you guys for.
Yeah,
Sorry,
so-
how's the story going?
So she makes it through fine, and then all of a sudden I just hear Mel squeal. She goes, ah! I was like, what? She was like, I died. And then like it hit me like a ton of bricks. I'll put the clip in the show notes, but I was like, you got cleaved, didn't you? And she did. She was just walking by the mobs and got cleaved by the mobs that were fighting what's his name there?
Bolvar.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It was very sad.
So I
Oh,
do.
no.
And
I
that
do
was
wanna
level
point out-
30.
I want to point out a couple of
30.
things here.
Oh man.
One, come on, Mel.
Yeah, I would have never walked in there. I would be like, oh, I'll come back later.
You walk through a bunch of level, like they look scary. It's not like a trick. They didn't spawn on you. You saw them. But watch the clip and notice how it's also equally Bob's fault. Bob had so much time to be like, wait, don't do that. Mel is like, there's some dragons in here. Should I not go through here? And Bob's looking through his spell book like, whatever, Mel.
No, I was like, I don't
Like-
know. And then she goes, okay, well, I did it. And like, it was literally, I had no chance to give her like a
Oh,
call.
He had plenty of time. Go watch the clip.
I think that takes the cake for being worse than my death walking into the elites and the barons. I think that might be a worse death.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh, it
Yeah.
was bad.
I don't want
Well-
to spoil it, but I like the next one even better.
Well, the next one would have been my
druid.
second solo character. So the next one was my 34 rogue.
Oh.
Because we could have an F's in chat, just our deaths.
I know.
Seriously.
Take up an hour.
And so it was I was at South Shore. My chat even told me to watch out for the assassins. But when they told me that, I thought like one assassin. But they travel in packs. So I had just blown all of my cooldowns on a 3-pack of Murlocs, and I got done with that quest, and I was in a rush, so I popped sprint to get back to town. But then I saw some herbs over here. So I decided to go get the herbs. And as I did that, the 2 level 38 assassins popped out. And what do? I had 3 ways I could have run. 2 of them, I probably would have survived. Guess which way I ran? The wrong fucking way, right into the other Murlocs. And I died. Yeah, it was like, oh, shit.
Oh no.
It's just like, don't blow all your cooldowns as a rogue.
Yeah.
Bob's a panicker. Bob pulls these things. And Bob says 2 directions. I would consider it more if you were looking at degrees of a circle. There's about 20 degrees in which he would die, and 340 degrees in which he would live.
Not true. It was a mountain pass, so
Well,
there was definitely a good 180
Yeah.
degrees that I couldn't run.
But like you could go left then up or right and then down. Bob's choice of straight through the Murlocs was definitely one of
The
my
best
favorite
was
choices.
the best was when I watch it, I notice I see him like run towards the water, and then I can tell just by his movements that he's remembering us being on F's in chat and him being like, just never go into the water. People always go into the water and die because he like went to the edge and like stopped and then like stood there for a second and then like turned the other way and it was like, oh my
Oh
god.
man. Yeah, panicking is the worst thing. Like panicking is what kills pretty much every hardcore player. Is I mean,
Yeah, our first
99%.
duo, the reason why we died is we panicked. We didn't actually think about our cooldowns and how we can use them. And then,
Yep.
that was during the beta and we were doing our testing. And we ran into a 3-pack. I had just gotten retaliation and we just
Yeah.
fucking panicked. And that's why we died in the
We,
beta.
and we
You know what I mean? Yeah.
we tested it afterwards. We couldn't we easily could have stayed there and fought them and lived. But us deciding to run is what killed us, honestly. So sometimes you just have to stand your ground,
That's actually how we died the next time on our duos. Mel and I
Funny story.
decided to do double druid,
Can't wait to
and
correct the record on this one.
so we were level 21. We were just like cleaning up quests in Westfall because we were getting ready to do Dead Mines, and like we were gonna do the Murloc quest where you kill like 4 different types of Murlocs up the coast.
Let's quickly reiterate. What level do you enter Westfall typically?
18, 16, 18?
Level 10.
12.
12, probably
12.
about 12.
Well, you
Alright,
could go
10.
into 12, but you could go into 10.
I think 10 is like the normal, like you do the quest.
On a non-hardcore, I think.
Yeah, non-hardcore. But if you're smart, you don't
Leave
even
like
do the
13,
quests there. You
14.
go over to Loch
But
Bradon and then come back.
Remind me what level you are, though.
21.
21 in Westfall. Let's keep going.
Okay.
So
Defcamp.
it
Oh.
sounds like Yip needs to be educated on the mobs that we were fighting. So these were 19 and 20s.
The mobs down by the flame quest, the lighthouse
19s
quest.
and
Yip
20s.
doesn't know what any of the my point.
Well,
let's
it's
continue.
just
Let's hear it.
it's a very poor point. Like if we were in northern Westfall, that would be one thing, but we were in southern where it's all 19s.
I think the point is that there's no orange mobs. They're all below your level. You've been in Westfall up to this point.
This coming
You've
from
done
the guy
Murloc
who hasn't
guys.
even got to like what level 15 yet on
Just keep going.
hardcore. All right,
Way
so
higher than 15.
Let's keep going.
so like
Let's
I
go.
was saying, we did the normal duo stuff where we just like thought we were invincible basically. So I pull
Okay, we this is not a we situation. This is a Bob saying like, "I'm just gonna take this whole pack," and me being like, "Oh, okay."
Mel will heal
And-
me. That's fine. Yeah, it's like Melderon's mentality.
which
yeah,
we had been
Defcamp will heal
taking.
me, It'll be fine.
Well,
And I'm a druid healer.
We
I run
had
out of
been-
mana in like 3 heals.
Yeah.
we had been taking we'd been taking 5 packs of the level 17 and 18 gnolls. It'd been fine, but the problem with these, I had forgotten that these stupid
Heal?
no, they fucking root. They
Oh,
root with
yeah,
the stupid
Frost Nova, right?
Frost
yeah.
Nova.
Yeah.
Oh, that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
You
So-
saw the oracles, right? The
Yeah.
frost mages,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, and like, they might be called something else. I think the oracles like do something else. They heal and stuff, but these are the ones right next to the oracles.
Oh,
right.
okay.
Yeah.
And they have like an instant cast that like does a frost nova. So
Yep.
I pull 3 of them. Everything's going fine. Neither Mel nor I notice a little Murloc, almost dead, just walks off the edge of the screen. You can see it on mine. He just
Yes.
walks off the edge of the screen, and like we don't even notice. I go, oh shit, we didn't get that runner. And then I was like, okay, well we got more now. And then
Yeah, he comes back with like 3 more.
and then
Oh.
and then Mel goes, I think we have to run. And I was like, okay, run. But we couldn't run. They just kept rooting me, and I was like, and I almost got a heal off, but it just like I died right before I got the heal off, and it was definitely a
Also-
panic situation because I could have
Yeah,
just
he panicked
shifted.
because he could have shifted.
Yeah, out of it.
Okay, there we go. I was wondering when you're gonna bring that up. 'Cause rooting
Yeah.
is like an
Also,
odd
can we
thing to
point
bring
out
up.
that I did not die?
Yep. That's in the clip. That's the very end of the clip. She goes, I didn't die, baby. I was like, okay, thanks.
I wasn't sure until now, but I'm 100% putting out this video. I have a video of my warrior killing princess, and I think you guys could use some of my tactics I use.
Well, I killed
princess.
I killed princess at level 8 today, so I'm definitely evolving.
Here's the thing. You guys tank those murlocs 5 feet away from all the other murlocs. You didn't pull them back. You tanked them right there. You can shift from that. I think that you could have killed them, but there's only 2 of you. There's only 3 mobs. How do you can't miss a runner. You're killing a mob.
Well,
it ran away.
In my defense,
I wasn't killing.
we had been running
healing.
packs, and Mel had been taking care of the runners every
Okay,
time
okay.
prior, and so I wasn't really
I was
paying
out of
attention
mana.
to
Just
it.
blame it on Mel.
I'm telling you the thought process of how I personally
all I
missed it.
know is that Bob frames it like there's all these things that were like they root. Who knew? But when you watch the clip, it's like Bob and Mel just like pulled a Murloc pack, ignored the runner, and then like died. And it was like,
Yeah, well, and like I just don't
What
even
happened
know.
here?
I just don't even know druids, so like I didn't even think to like shift.
Right.
that's a big problem.
Or
That's a
root,
big problem
root
too.
him from running away. You could have rooted him potentially if you were in range.
Could have rooted 2 of them.
I
Because we were
personally
both
think
brutes.
I personally think they almost could have just stayed there and killed everything, but it was like this.
I think we
mishmash of
probably could have.
trying
Sometimes
to
running's
run.
worse than do. Yeah.
I think trying to run while rooted, but not shifting out. Like it was like a mixture of like this is not a good situation.
Yeah,
but-
and Mel was completely out of mana. Mel could have just like she could have gotten to shift a bear. Then I could have taken over healing. Like if we wouldn't have panicked, like we could have lived there. Like it was
Excuse
hard.
me, I survived, so I don't think that panic is the right word
You
for
didn't,
Mel.
Mel. You didn't survive. It's duos. You died.
I say Mel
just like
survived.
I died.
However,
Technically, I survived.
however, Mel.
Yeah,
you guys
technically I
negated-
survived in like Stormwind when like I
Yeah,
should have.
I'm
You
just
guys
saying, I
cancel out, Mel. However, there's a great chat comment. What do you even call it? Twitch chat, I believe, from Kofo. Hell yeah, let's pull 5 mobs and see what abilities they got.
I had totally forgot they had that route. Like it was horrible.
Now it was trippy for me because I knew Bob and Mel were doing a druid duo, and I was like, I tuned in for a minute. I tuned in here and there. All right, they're doing a druid duo. They're like level 20, 21, something like that. Is last time I saw them. I tuned into their duo stream again the other day, and I see them on, but for some reason Bob is still a druid, but Mel's a priest, and they're still like 21. And I was like, hey, what's going on? And then they died, and I just missed that. I missed all the way back to their reset.
We're
That's only
getting
like a day and
faster
a
and
half it took
faster.
us to get back. I'm
That sounds
really
like you
good
guys.
at Red Ridge Quest.
Yeah, exactly. You guys are probably, I mean, that's the thing about hardcore is like you learn something from every death. You know what I mean? You do.
Bob has learned a lot.
Yeah, I can see it.
Well, okay, so now our duo is back up to 23 or 24. I got to tank as a druid in Deadmine's first hardcore dungeon I've ever done. Shout out to Nom Nom who came and was
nice.
very helpful. I was super nervous, couldn't even look at chat. Like Mel was answering chat, and I'm like, I'm not letting these people die. Like, I mean, I was so nervous, but we got through it. I got the two-headed mace, like feeling good on that character. But the last character to talk about was my second rogue. My second rogue was level 29. Not last night, but night before last. I thought, okay, I'm really tired. We raided all night. I can't sleep. Mel's asleep. I'm just gonna jump on. I'm gonna grind green murlocs off the coast of wetlands, and I can work up lock picking
There's
while
a
I do
trend
that.
here with
right?
Murlocs. I'm just
I'm
throwing that out
noticing a
there.
Murloc trend.
So I'm doing fine doing that. I'm getting lock picking up. I'm kicking the Murloc's butt. They're all like, 6 or 5 levels below me. I'm killing it, and then I get to the ghost ship, and I'm like, well, I mean, I'm here. I've got the quest. Like, I've got my elixir of water breathing. I'll just take
Nice.
that. I'll just do this quest really quick. It'd be cool, right? So I take my elixir of water breathing, which later on, after watching my VOD back, wasn't an elixir of water breathing. It was an elixir of intellect.
But you were
Oh,
obviously
yeah.
lacking as well.
Good
So
skill, bro.
so I go underwater and I go in, I kill Captain Snelling. I'm like looking up at the curse that he put on me, like trying to figure out if that's gonna hurt me. Like I'm getting ready. I go to gouge the dude. It misses, and I'm like, oh shit! All right, I'm gonna have to use a pot. And then all of a sudden, my GTFO goes. I'm like, what the hell? I was like, I look up and I see the breath bar, which I hadn't noticed the entire time before. Up top, it's empty. I panic. I find my elixir of water breathing. Luckily, it was on my bar. I hit it. I get up. I'm about to vanish. And
I didn't know about this one. So
oh, it was the
I watched it,
stupidest
yeah.
death.
oh no.
It was
I
so
can't keep up with all these deaths, Bob.
don't play tired, man, and just don't think you can do the like.
There's always an
It's
excuse.
just it was
So
so stupid. But now I do, you live and you learn. Now my
yes.
now my breath bar is right on my fucking character. Like it's not up top here anymore. It's right on my character.
There's a serious problem too. The breath in TBC is so much better. It gives you like a reasonable amount of time before you drown. But in
Oh
vanilla,
no,
it's
you
like
drown
0
quick.
Dude, it
time.
chunks
In
you
vanilla,
quick.
it's just nothing. You're done.
It chunked me about a fourth of my life, and I was already at half life, and I was like, oh god.
Yeah, it's dangerous for me because I'm someone who's usually always played an undead character, so I'm used to that 4 minute breath time. And then playing a human or something like that, I'm just I've played undead almost all of my like WoW career. So playing as a human, I have to be really, really, really careful and look at that breath bar. But honestly, Bob, like this is something I think anyone like. It's just like you're tired. I want to beat yourself too much about this one.
I
You're
told Bob like on stream,
Yeah.
it takes like 5-6 deaths for your brain gets reformed for hardcore.
yeah, it really does.
Yeah, well, just this one, like I could have just prevented, just went to bed or started like a new
Yeah.
character just to jack around, or just stayed the course and messed with the green mobs and worked up lockpicking, like
Yeah.
I
Or
was like,
just
oh,
looked
let's
at your
go
breath
do
bar.
this
I mean,
hard
the
quest.
easiest thing would have been to just look at your breath bar. That would have
Oh, coming
easy peasy, Bob.
from Mel. You better you better watch it, or I'll
I'm sorry,
start
I've
cutting you
died
down.
once. You've killed us. You've killed us once, and you've killed yourself like 4 times.
Well,
So,
and in fairness, you've only done duo. Try some solo.
Ooh,
I have a
Mel has
level
a
8
solo.
hunter.
Throw in the
Yeah.
shade. Oh yeah, level
Okay.
7. It's pretty
8.
sick. Oh, 8.
8, get it right, Bob.
My bad,
8.
my bad.
8.
Well, so
I can see
now
Bob's getting a little high and mighty, so I will be starting
my
my warrior.
my
Yeah.
third solo rogue is now back up to level 15. That's where we're at now.
Mm.
We go again.
And go again. That's right. Well, guys, if anything, you've learned from it, and you made some really good content as well. So
Oh.
Yeah, and I do like roasting you guys, even if it's as Bob points out. You haven't played as much hardcore as I have played. Hardcore.
You have not, sir.
I agree, that is true.
But
But
you've definitely got different priorities. Like if I were to switch my main, like I'd be TBC hardcore at the moment. But
yeah, Halo Infinite's been pretty fun too.
Bro, it's so fucking good, bro.
dude,
Oh,
I've got
God.
it.
Yeah.
I've got
been
it
playing it as
installed,
well.
and
Yeah.
I have purposely not turned it on.
It's
Oh, you
fun
gotta
like
play it.
old. It's
Yeah.
fun like old Halos. Like you
The
have
fucking grappling hook, though. Oh my god, the grappling hook. It's so good.
That's actually a major reason. I don't know how much I embarrass myself here. Might have played a long session of Halo a couple of weeks ago. and I was noticing a couple of symptoms of carpal tunnel, and
Oh,
that's
shit.
when I was like, I should go bear. I
I
like
don't have
I
the
love
hands
it.
for warrior
Oh,
anymore.
yeah.
yeah, like I'm just thinking. I mean, your GCD blocked plus shield block on warrior. It's like
Yeah.
let's
Yeah.
take that back a little bit. Maybe that'll help.
Yeah, see,
Um,
bear, you can just switch hands, take a drink of your drink.
Yeah.
yeah, I do a little stance
Mangle.
dancing. Exactly. I do a little stance dancing with
Yeah.
warrior. We can negate that out. It's fine.
Yeah.
Maul, mangle, mangle, mangle.
Hey,
Swipe,
don't forget
swipe.
swipe in there when you have,
Oh,
yeah.
a bunch of rage. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm talking about single target, but yeah,
Yeah.
true.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
Oh, Mel, do you have anything else to add? I mean, I do think that hardcore has definitely improved both of us and our play just overall.
Yeah, it'll do that.
And knowledge of the game. I will say streaming's been amazing because I have a small stream, so I can't even imagine what yours is like, but they teach me all kinds of shit that I just didn't know, and I'm like, wait, is that true? And I look at it, I'm just like, damn, okay, sweet. And I just learned so much from him.
Yeah, I didn't die at all in SSC or TK the week before after we'd been playing hardcore a lot.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah.
I
It's
was super aware of my life, right? Like I'd back
Yeah.
up, I'd take health stones. Like I'd always forget to do that before.
Wish I could say the same for Melderon, but yeah.
Bro, they call me Florderon sometimes
Yeah.
because
Floater yeah, definitely, yeah.
Listen,
I mean,
they make jokes about
enhanced
how
chamois,
frequently
though.
my angel shows
Yeah.
up.
I'm
in
like, all right,
rows.
I'm gonna put my totems down. That's 3 seconds. All right, let's attack. Quadruple crit when Fury dead on the ref.
Yeah, he pulls aggro a lot.
Yeah.
They can. I've noticed that you're
Yeah.
enhanced shaman, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That sometimes they'll just rip on an opener.
Yeah, and then once in a blue moon, I'll be like, oh, I didn't have fucking what's Salve, and I'm just dead.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Floateron. Imagine floor camp. No, that's not happening.
Floateron
there was 1 week where I died 7 times because
Navic calls me Selderon too because he gives me all the fucking
Yeah.
patterns to sell in the auction house.
Well, now he calls you Melderon TV because your name says Melderon.
Yeah, he makes sure that so I had to change my name because I went to Fairlena, and I was like, I'm just gonna do Melderon with an umlaut over the O. And everyone's like, don't do that, bro. It's so hard to find you, and blah, 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 and blah,
It
blah.
is a
I'm
pain
like,
in the ass.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, does no one have autofill? MELD? It should autofill. I guess,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
LBUI
Nobody
does
should
that.
get to the O.
Exactly. That's what I said. And everyone's still bitching and complaining. I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'll do Melderon TV. And now every time someone says my name, Melderon TV, and I'm like, oh my god, dude.
This kind
Every
of sounds
time.
like Yip every time I'm in raid and
Yeah,
I'm streaming.
yeah.
He's like, "Oh, Bob, the big streamer, paid attention to
I
chat,
know.
died again."
That's exactly what I do to Bob. If his name was that, I'd be roasting him the whole time.
Yeah.
Oh, he's so
He
funny.
streams our raids now, so whenever he AFKs, I'm like, Bob's too busy paying attention to Twitch chat. He's not moving up.
Oh,
Yeah,
there
it'd
was
be
one time I
terrifying.
think I died 5 times on one boss. The boss with the ground pound. Who was it? I don't even know.
Oh, Void Reaver?
Morgrim? Or
Loot
oh
Reaver,
yeah,
yeah.
Void Reaver. Yeah,
Loot
Yeah.
Reaver.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she
like
died
5 times.
five.
Yeah.
She had literally a minute and a
Yeah.
half of the
My spirit
redemption. Yeah.
Oh,
healing.
yeah.
Yeah, that happened to me 1 week, Mel. On they didn't give me salve on Morgrim, and I usually do a lot of healing on that fight, right? But this week I was like, you know what? The tanks have been doing a lot better with threat. I think I can because I usually have I spec holy COH, but I usually spec into I put 4 points into reduced threat. So this week I was like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and get 3 points into improved Power Word Shield and just have 1 point threat. Nope, that was a bad fucking move.
Bad
Because
idea.
I died so much that night. I don't. It's unbelievable how much threat I pull as a priest. It is unfucking real. It's just. But that fight in particular, I didn't get salve, and I died once. Then I had a soul stone, used soul stone, died again, got battle res, and I think I got battle res again. So I think it was 4 times in one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
In one
insane.
Morgrim.
I
And
have a
everybody
weak
knows when I
aura.
die because
Yeah.
I'm
I
an
don't-
angel, right?
I
So it's
don't-
not even like you can hide it.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like it's important for me to point out because I think that you two might be talking past each other a little bit here. Mel died to pounding damage, not from pulling threat. Mel died 5 times to Void Reaver's AoE on the whole raid.
Okay,
That
you know
is
what
what Mel
though?
was.
Mel also had like 300 life total with my.
That was back in the day. Yeah, that was
It was like before
early on.
any
Full
of the tier
primal
gear.
Mooncloth.
Yeah, full
Yeah.
primal
Yeah.
Moonblood, and then I get rezzed and I have no buffs, so I'm
Right.
like,
You
you
instantly get
know,
killed again.
We have
Yeah.
we have a problem. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna put anyone on blast because
Mhm.
this is like a pretty micromanagey thing, but people take battle reses at the worst times
Mm.
possible. Like, oh, Void Reaver's about to pound. Battle res, and then they come up at half health already, and he starts hitting the ground, and it's like, oh god, like wait till
Yeah.
after that, please. I mean, it's a
can't
lot.
tell you how many times I've done my Shadow Fiend right into the ground pound, and I'm like,
Oh, it's
damn
so
right.
annoying. Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, which is like that's a lot to be
Mhm.
thinking about and paying attention to. Most people, I think, just accept their battle res when they
Yeah.
receive it. They don't
See, and then
they work around.
for like me, like I rarely get battle res, so like all of a sudden I'll be, I die, I get up, I go to the bathroom. I'm in the bathroom and I hear in my headphones, "Broom," and I'm like, oh, I'm running back from the bathroom, like it's the worst.
All you
Nice.
have to do is tell you if you're strategically timing when you accept your battle res. He'll appreciate that.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I,
good
I
call,
I
good
love
call.
that fight though. Void Reaver is such a good fight. I don't know, Mel, if you're a COH priest or not, but I do.
Yeah.
I run Eye of Gruul with Blue Dragon Trinket, and they both like proc off each other. And sometimes they like if they get good procs, they only have to mana pot on that fight. It's just insane how much mana back you get. And I use Eye of Gruul a lot too, just because it procs so much. But like that's one of my most favorite fights. Side note, but I love it's
Great
such
for
a fun
DPS
fight.
too, especially enhance me. Just sit there and fucking
Yeah,
do your
yeah,
irritation. Super
Oh,
easy.
it's just like
Yeah.
constant circle of healing and
yep.
like glory. It's so much fun.
All
Yeah,
right, well,
I wish. Yeah, whatever.
let's table this for when we talk about raid in a second. Let's hear what's been going on with Defcamp and Melderon. Like, where do you want to start? Do you want to start at TBC or do you want to start at hardcore? Because you guys did finally complete the hardcore challenge
Yep.
after Melderon swore he would never do it with you again.
I did say that.
That's right. Yeah. So basically, if we have done duos before, and unfortunately,
Blame
one
Graves again.
time,
You're
yeah,
gonna blame
Grays
Graves.
killed us, and that wasn't any fault of our own. But yeah. So basically, I had recently come back to streaming, and a few months ago, and I was like, I really want to do this challenge, especially with Melderon's going to be leaving soon. Going to move to LA. We wanted to basically do our Super Plate Brothers, but do it hardcore. And we had started practicing on the PTR, and we had died on the PTR, but I was like, dude, listen, I really want to do this, and Melderon really wanted to do it as well, and we just like we had some close calls, but I think all in all, Melderon, I don't know about you, but I think we did a really good job.
I was super
Um,
clean.
yeah, it
It was
was
super
really
clean.
clean.
Yeah.
Paladin Warrior is just so strong. Like it's. I mean, the hardest part about hardcore, honestly, duo is being overconfident, right? So like, as long as you play duo smart and you don't get overconfident and do things that are
Yeah.
just stupid or try to pull too much. But like with Melderon being so I leveled holy, Melderon leveled arms. With him being arms and me holy, he could like pull 3 or 4 mobs at a time that were like a couple levels below us. I would drop a consecrate, he would sweeping strikes, and we would just mow them down in seconds. And
Yeah.
we were just so efficient and just really 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 like strong. And we did almost every dungeon together with him tanking and me healing. Obviously, I've healed, I healed all the time. So and Melderon's a really good tank as well. So it was a lot of fun, man. I really enjoyed the leveling process in hardcore. It was like such a good feeling getting to 60.
I
Um,
bet.
and I think one of the biggest things for me was like, having this whole journey recorded, right before Melderon's about to leave to LA. So we'll always have this, right? And I think it's really cool that we'll have this so we can
Yeah.
watch it whenever. And me and him bickering, just like you two, do. And
Yep.
me and him bicker all the time. But it was funny, man. And I think all in all, it was like, a really cool experience. And no matter what happens, if I don't know if I'm going to be in the rag kill or not. Like I still have, gear I need to get and all. And I've been doing dungeons here and there. It sucks though because it feels like a lot of people have kind of gotten their gear and are kind of just chilling, like waiting for the raid. So it's kind of hard right now to get like geared up and to do runs. I think it's probably because I probably should play earlier in the day as well. But I'm
You just
just
have to wait for Bob and I to die 6 more times, and then maybe we'll make
yeah,
it there to help, you know?
exactly, yeah. But because I think they're planning on doing the rag kill like relatively soon.
Mm.
If they're
So
planning on doing it relatively soon, then you're gonna have plenty of spots open.
I don't know.
That's
I mean,
my
yeah, I think people
prediction.
are gonna die. Yeah, I think people will die during the thing. So like,
I mean,
you know,
they've
if I
only
get
killed two bosses so far,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
and
Oh yeah,
60s are
people are gonna
dropping
die.
like
Yeah.
flies.
Well, we had a 60 drop in the Molten Core trash that I did. So 160
Uh-huh.
died there. We had 360s die last night in Skolo. I
Oh.
actually saw it. I actually was outside Skolo when it happened and watched it happen. And what they did was, so you know, in the end of Skolo, basically what happens is you
There's
kill
6 mini
those
bosses.
6 mini bosses, and then the last dude spawns. Well, they killed the top first and then the bottom, and they were almost wiping on the last guy, the guy who does that shadow pulse damage. The paladin feared one of the ads outside the door, and as soon as that mini boss died, it pulled the boss into the room with
Oh.
them, and 3 of them died. So it was really sad to see. So yeah, people are dying, and you know,
Who
but like the
didn't
other,
die? Was it a hunter and a rogue?
it was a rogue, and I forget what the other class was. I think it might have been a warrior. It might have been a tank. But a warrior DPS died. The paladin healer died, and a mage died. So
Oh.
yeah, but you know, like all in all, I've had a lot of fun doing the hardcore thing, and I think it's been great for streaming. Like I have so much fun streaming it, and I've just had a lot of really cool moments. And like whatever happens with the rag fight, whether we're in there or casting or whatever, it's been such a cool experience to see because like everyone in the hardcore community has been like helping each other out. So like I had a bunch of mats that I had that I just gave away to people who were needed like to get their Heart of the Wild made, or needed potions. And like the community has been so cool, where people helping each other out, people running people through dungeons and this, that, and other. And like the sad part is unfortunately some people focus on the negative with the griefing that's been going on. There's been a lot of negative like griefing and stupid shit that's been happening in the community. And unfortunately, I think people look at like it's just like anything, right? Where sometimes people focus on the negative when it's only like 2% of what's going on, or 1% of what's going on.
Right.
So, there has been some stuff where, there has been like these people with absolutely no lives. And like I said earlier, yesterday I had this whole rant about it. How I think these are the people who bully other people because they've been bullied their whole lives, and they have some kind of sad existence where they need to feel
Dude, they're
better about themselves.
disgusting. They're
Exactly. So,
disgusting.
in all honesty, like it's you're always you're no matter what they do to you, you're winning over them anyway, because if they have to do this to get the kicks off, then their life's
Yeah.
unfortunately
Well, I
pretty
mean,
bad.
and like I'll even go to say like that type of behavior is kind of funny in a non-hardcore situation,
Yeah, yeah,
as long as they're
yeah,
not camping you and doing that. But this
yes,
like using these underhanded things to try and take that much time, that's just
yeah,
sadistic. Like
yeah,
it's
yeah,
it's
Bob.
bad.
So the other day, this guy was trying to kill me on I'm leveling a warrior solo hardcore because I think it's like the hardest thing you can do in hardcore.
Gnome, right?
And yeah, no, a human.
Not oh, really?
I got I got the thing outside Ironforge turns you into a gnome. That's what I would look like a
Yeah,
gnome.
yeah, but I mean,
Yeah,
you gotta but you gotta have like, are you at least doing engineering? So
yeah. No, I'm actually
but
gonna
like
do
escape artist is
Alchin Herb.
huge.
It is. But I wanted to do human just because I don't like gnomes, even though
I
I
don't
want
like
to. Yeah.
gnomes either, dude. I
I
really
can't
don't.
curse that yet.
Can't say yet.
Not enough rage. Salutations. But yeah. Well, anyway, I like human just because I don't know. I like playing human. I think they're great.
Dude,
Yeah.
human is my favorite class. Sue me. I like human because I'm
Yeah.
human. Sue me.
Yeah. I know. I for Horde. I mean, for Alliance. I don't know if I like human or dwarf more. But anyway. So yeah, I love dwarf, man. I fucking love dwarf. They're awesome. Melderon hates them. So I'm leveling my you don't like it? Oh my god.
There's only one
No.
race in the alliance, and it's
Watch your
human, as far
back.
as I'm
Yeah.
concerned.
Wash your back. So I'm in Dunrow doing my thing, and this guy, I don't know if you heard about this. basically what they do is there's mobs outside of Blackrock Depths that are called Angle Marge Overseers, whatever, and they have no leash right now. And they've been like this for months. Blizzard still hasn't fixed it. You can literally kite them anywhere in the world. They will not stop. They will never leash. So this
Yeah,
one
you
guy,
don't like you
yeah,
don't have to refresh every 10 seconds.
exactly. Yep, he'll just keep following you. This one guy who's been level 40 for like months or like a month or whatever. Like he hasn't leveled. This is all he does all day. He gets them, and then all you have to do is like run past or like run over a low level, and it'll immediately engage them in combat with the overseers. So he's he was trying to find me. I logged out right before he was able to do it. He killed someone else. I logged in and I fucking killed the overseer, and spat like I was talking trash and whatever. But like the lengths that's the lengths that people go. You know what I mean? They do this, and then they had something the other day where it was actually another streamer who had gotten angry that people were killing the same mobs that he was AOE farming, because sometimes AOE farmers feel like
Oh,
they're
you're talking
entitled to the
about
entire fucking
the
zone.
He's entitled
real.
to all 27 mobs, and you
You're
can't have the
Yeah,
one.
you're talking
yeah.
about the real, aren't
The
you?
real Esquire, yeah.
Yep,
So, and I
I
think
heard
that
about
was
this.
I watched the whole thing, and the drama is going on. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. The guy, I don't know how he can't admit that what he did was a douchebag move. Like you would think that hopefully he would come out and just say, "Yeah, I did a douchebag thing," and end it. But then they had to start this whole drama with "stay safe" and all this kind of stuff. And it's like,
Yeah, I've heard all about all that.
yeah. And it's like the thing is, like, we have to deal with outside shit enough to, why do we have to deal with people in our own community? Like that's just stupid. So, but what I wanted to say is that's just one really small part of everything. And what people don't see, I think, is that the hardcore community as a whole is very, very, very fucking awesome. And most people are helping each other out. Most people are trying to, like do whatever they can do for each other.
Except
And
for Foxtrot.
Foxtrot, I know you got beef with Foxtrot, Bob.
Those
Yeah.
bastards take tags from me every time. No, I've actually since met a lot of really nice ones, but
Yeah.
early on, it was literally I'd be standing there waiting for the mob to spawn. A Foxtrot mage would pop up and be like, "Oh, tag, right?
Yeah.
Have fun waiting another 15 minutes, sucker."
Yeah. There's always a few bad eggs, There's always going to be a few bad eggs. Oh, so Kalana said he's no longer part of the hardcore community. We're better off for it. There you go. There you go. And the best thing is the karma was that he lost his character like the next day that he killed those people on. So that's just karma for you. But yeah, I mean, like overall, the experience has just been really, really freaking cool. And whatever happens in the future, like I love being able to do this again, like playing on Alliance. Playing a Holy Paladin has been amazing. Like I've always healed as a priest.
Mana for days, right?
Yeah, dude, it's crazy. Like I healed as a priest in, like late Classic, all of TBC, all of Wrath. I switched over to a Paladin, and started healing a Paladin in Kata, and ever since then, all the way from Kata to Legion. But I never played a Holy Paladin in Classic. So I've done Resto Shaman, I've done Holy Priest, but I'm having a lot of fun playing the Paladin, man. And yeah, it's just been an awesome experience, and that's what I've been doing for the last couple months. We of course
What'd
still
you
been reading on
guys-
TBC, and
Before
yeah.
we do the TBC, what'd you guys level as spec wise for the warrior, the paladin?
So yeah, I did Holy. I did straight Holy all the way. So I did this cool spec where I did straight down in Holy all the way to like Holy Shock, because Holy Shock does a lot of damage. And then I did a build where I did I actually got like improved Blessing of Might, and I actually got Seal Command too. So what I would do is I would usually like put Seal Command on with a big two-hander and just kind of sit there and white hit with Seal Command on and drop a Consecrate, while Melderon would go arms with sweeping strikes, and then we could pull easily, Bob, 3 or 4 mobs and just annihilate them in seconds.
Oh yeah,
right?
dude, sweeping strikes is
And
nuts.
yeah, it's crazy. Man.
Yep.
Like, we felt so strong. Like I was never really too scared.
Yeah, and there
that
were
we were gonna
situations
die.
where you had to
Like,
kill like 6, 7 mobs, or
Yeah.
like really high level mobs, and then you just pop retail and it's fucking
Yep.
over. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Like,
and we killed
it's-
elites. Yeah, and
Yeah.
I even did tanking towards the end. So I started tanking a lot more.
Letting
I would
me
put
DPS more,
and
yeah.
letting Melderon DPS. So I would put a sword and a shield on. I had Thrash Blade and would put a shield on, and Melderon would just sit behind them and DPS, and I would tank them. So it's just so cool how many different things you can do as a paladin and with a warrior. So all in all, it was just
If
an
I was
awesome
solo, I would have done a different build, but I would have went arms until I got double thrash blade and then went fury. But the thing is, like
Mhm.
with that paladin, you just stay arms and you just cleave shit down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just I don't know.
Yeah.
Sweeping strikes is so powerful. Yeah.
Do you guys struggle with like follower and leader roles?
Uh, no,
Yeah, he thinks
I'm the leader as a paladin because
no. Get
paladins
the
are
fuck out of
technically
here.
paladins in the lore are higher up than
Paladins are
warriors.
simps, bro. That's all they are.
Yeah.
They
No,
need who to
technically,
put on follow when they go AFK is what
yeah.
bothers
Melderon
me.
always went on follow on me all the time.
You know how warriors back in the day on Horde used to say shamans just hold the Wind Fury totem for them? Basically. It's essentially the same thing. You just hold
Bro.
my blessing of might.
Bro, who was the one tanking mobs? Okay, that was me,
Yeah.
bro. I was the one, but the thing is, like, yeah, mostly Melderon was like, because Melderon, he's a fucking warrior. He just goes off and charges every fucking thing, right? Charge this, charge that. It was so nice when I got my mount though, and I had to give him half my gold so he can buy his. I got a free one, but
Well,
Melderon.
Melderon's lucky because I charge shit, and then Mel's walked the other direction, and she's pulling shit on her own.
I did it a couple times. I've done that a couple times, but for the most
Then I'd
part,
yell at him and say, I'm the point man. I'm the point
That's
man.
what I try to say, but
Yeah,
Mel doesn't
yeah.
listen.
Yeah.
Bob goes, "Can you follow the tank, please?" And I'm like, "I got a
Yeah.
bubble. I'm fine."
That's the
Like,
thing, yeah. It's like when I was tanking, I had to get because Melderon was off doing his own freaking thing, charging everything. I'm like, bro, I'm tanking. Like, come with me now. But we actually kind of like shared that role because at first,
Yeah.
I was definitely running around following him, but then later on, I started to become more of the tank. But and it was very rare that I would have to heal like in the middle of a fight. Sometimes I would, but I would just heal him up
Yeah.
after the fight, and we had no downtime because when I needed to give him a big heal, I had Divine Favor, which you could pop that every couple minutes, give him a big Holy Light, puts him to max health, and
It was
the
free.
great thing about Paladins, I can use Seal of Wisdom, put that on, and I get mana back while I'm doing damage. Like that's the cool thing about Paladin is like Paladin Warrior, we literally had no downtime. I put Wisdom on myself. I would use Blessing of Wisdom, Judgment of the Wisdom, and stuff like that, and we had no downtime. So Paladin Warrior just felt. I think honestly, for hardcore, it's better than Shaman Warrior because Shamans you have to put your totems down everywhere you go. Paladins, everything's on him, right? It's on them, and obviously Paladins have way more oh shit.
Oh
buttons.
shit.
Like,
yeah, way more oh shit buttons.
Yeah.
I
I
have
don't know,
Blessing of
paladin
Freedom.
versus priest though.
And they
Like,
wear
I feel
plate
like
too.
priest, like I wand and spirit tap and never have to drink.
Yeah,
I have shield.
the only down part about priest is with shield, it does reduce the amount of rage that
A
Melderon
little
would get.
bit.
A little bit, not by a lot.
The shield's for me, not him.
Well, yeah, but like you could just put renew on him,
But
whatever.
the big thing about Spirit Tap is like a
You
lot
have
of
to blast it.
times,
Yeah.
and a lot of times it's really hard to do with the warrior because they just either execute or they just overkill a target, and you're like, fuck,
Right.
I can't get my
Yeah.
But yeah, you're
Yeah, I
right.
had
I
to
mean,
tell
Spirit Tap
Bob.
is good.
Yeah.
When he would go into cat now, I have to tell Bob, I'm like, stop
'Cause
killing them so
cat-
fast.
Cat is freaking OP. Like I'm just like, oh, it's dead. Okay.
Yeah, they do a lot of damage. Yeah.
I actually
That was fast.
It is, yeah. I like Priest does do a good amount of damage, but I felt like the functionality between Paladin and Warrior is better because having Blessing of Might, like Fort's great and all.
I think
but
Paladin's really good for melee class.
Yeah, having Blessing of Might.
Yeah.
Also, like Melderon would sunder the target down, and I'd be white hitting, and that increases my damage too when he's sundering. So, a lot of times, I would do more damage than he did, with a Holy Shock or whatever. And also having Consecrate was really nice. And obviously, you have Holy Nova and stuff, but yeah, Priest, Warrior, anything that heals with a Warrior is going to be great. But it just felt good being a Paladin, having, plate gear and having bubble if I, ran into trouble, having lay on hands, having all these.
And then we double dip with Might and Battle Shout. That actually, you double dip, you get both of them. And it's like, and the build I did wasn't the traditional arms build. It was for the arms tree, but for the Fury tree, I went for improved Demoralizing Shout and improved Battle Shout. So basically, it ensured that we did extra damage and they did less damage to us. So it was kind of like, I don't know. It was a really good comp, like super clean. And I know I meme around and say I'd never do another, duo with them, but like to be honest, he's the only person I would do a duo with. Like I wouldn't trust anyone else to
It's a lot of
do
trust.
it right. You know what I mean? And I was just super mad at that fucking what happened with that. Like that was just super mad that night. I was like, "You kidding me?" I was just like, so mad that happened.
It was all Grace's fault anyway. So
yeah. You didn't zoom in or anything. Or,
Basically, like like Mel and I are making fun of each other and stuff on the show, but when she killed us and when I killed us, we were both just like the two different nights, like just sitting there, and like the other one's like, dude, it's okay, it's fine, like we're gonna do it again, like, and we didn't give each other shit
I
at
just didn't
all
even have
because
time
like
to,
Yeah.
we
like,
felt
react
so
when I
bad
killed us.
for each other.
Like, when I
That's
killed us,
good.
I just looked at it and I was just like, "Did I just die? I died."
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really does suck like if you lose a character that's like over level 20 or so, because like you think about all like sometimes you have really good luck with drops, or
Right.
you got bags like really early on and you got a good amount of gold, and it's just like fuck, I got to do this all again. And you really do get attached to your character. And
Well, yeah, and or
I
like you have
yeah.
like a real big like, so on our druids now we have swiftness pots like
Mm,
that dropped for us. So like that's a
nice.
huge boon. If you die
Yeah.
again, like we lose that, you know?
Yeah. That's huge. I got hooked up. I got all like the flask and everything like that. So I got, alchemy hooked up, but which is even cooler. I'll mention this real quick. On Christmas Day, Melderon, I don't know what kind of like like weird like shenanigans he pulled, but he got cat swiftness for TBC and an amazing epic staff within an hour of each other.
Yeah, it's a druid
Yeah.
staff. It's like I forget what it's called, but yeah, I was just like farming on. I was doing dailies on my shaman, and like this druid staff dropped. The drop sells for like 1,800 gold, and I'm like, what the fuck?
What?
And
Yeah.
then, but I equipped it because
Nice.
I have a
It
druid
gives
too.
armor and stuff. And what does
Yeah, it
it
gives
do?
art.
It also
It also
yeah.
reduces the shapeshifting by 200 mana. Like
Yeah.
every time
Yeah.
you shift. I mean, it's not probably not best for tanking, but it's really good. And my druid's an alt, so I don't care, right? So I was like, oh, I give him something good, and it made him so much more powerful. And then I get on my druid, and I was like, oh, I'll do some quests on my druid now that he has this really cool staff. And I'm killing this random mob in the Grand, and then cat swiftness drops. And I'm like, oh, all on Christmas within
Yeah.
an hour of each other. It was
Yeah,
crazy.
he gave
Oh
it to
my
me.
no.
Merry
For
Christmas.
I gave it to Def because the
Yeah.
guild doesn't have one yet. So yeah, it was I didn't make any money off of it, but it was still pretty nice to get those
Yeah.
But you
drops.
could have.
I could have made like
Yeah.
4K or 3.5.
Wow. We were playing hardcore Christmas night, and it was just like death after death after death. We were like, "Oh my god, not on
Oh,
Christmas."
that's so
Yeah,
sad.
so many
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
died on Christmas, man.
Does anybody else
Yeah.
chuckle when they see somebody die in hardcore at like level 2? You're just like,
Yeah,
"Okay."
yeah. I see level ones die too a couple times. I'm like, what? Like how? Like what did you do?
Look, you're going
Yeah.
fast.
Yeah. But I've seen some really sad death clips, man. Like I don't know if you guys saw the one from Desi when she died. Desi Heat.
Yeah.
She had just hit 60.
We were on
Um,
F's and chat for that. We were
oh man.
we were guests that week, and it was rough.
Yeah, so
I still
rough. I
don't
felt so bad for her.
understand. Like I feel super bad for her, but I still don't understand why the fuck they didn't like Hearth out. Like
She
what were
didn't
they
There
know.
doing?
were
Yeah, she
Oh.
was that was her first time in there. But yeah, they should have just hurt out. I don't know
Well,
why
that
they
wasn't the other guy's first
Fort-
time, right?
Right? No, I don't think so. I don't know why they.
I don't know
One
why.
of them
Yeah,
did
They're
hurt
both
out.
mages.
Well, and
too.
he
Well,
jumped, and that's what pulled.
Yep. Yep.
But
But,
no,
like,
what I mean is they already
yeah.
got the enchant. Why were
Yeah.
they running back?
If
Yeah, I
your
don't
if
get
your
that
hearth
either.
is
Yeah,
like if your hearth is up,
Yeah. But
why
they're both
would
mages.
you?
and they're mages.
Yeah.
They
right?
could
Yeah.
portal.
Yeah.
They
They could
They
drop
could-
group and ghetto hearth.
Yeah.
They can
A
do
lot of
anything. You know what I
options,
mean?
guys.
Like
Yeah.
I
There
don't
was a
know.
lot
Yeah.
of options.
I know it doesn't really matter. I mean, like insult to injury. I don't want to add it more,
Yeah.
but like I just don't understand why that happened. Like
Right.
why they were in the situation to begin
Well,
with.
that makes it hurt
Yeah.
more when something
Yeah,
is
yeah.
very preventable.
When there's
Yeah.
ways that you could have avoided it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like that's worse.
Yeah.
Because
She
I've
put her
never
trust in that
gotten, I
guy.
never went into that library and then ran back out. I've always either hearth
Ever,
out or-
yeah, ever.
yeah,
Just
yeah,
like,
yeah.
Yeah.
I've run back out before like multiple times, but
Maybe to
yeah,
reset
I
the
mean,
dungeon
well,
or something.
and like
yeah.
she could
you would
have.
often pull. Well, this is what I was saying when I was on F's. I was like, honestly, they can get out from here.
Mhm.
You can pull
Yeah.
Nova,
everything
yeah.
on like
Double
even
Nova.
Yeah.
on my warrior. When I would go in solo my warrior, you pull. You can still just run out. It's like the
Yep.
entrance is right there.
Well,
You can probably
and
just blink. You can go on the ramp and reset. There's a lot of like options.
if she wanted to go the other direction, just drop group and just run, and then run up the
Yeah.
stairs, drop off of the stairs,
Yeah,
run
yeah,
back
yeah,
up
yeah.
the stairs.
So
Drop-
what
you
I
know what I
Now-
mean?
Ne-
what I was told was that she had put her faith in this guy. It was her first time ever going in DM, and like she
Yeah.
just didn't know what to do. Right? She's putting her faith in someone else, and
Yeah.
the guy's telling her, "Oh, it's it's fine. Let's just do this." he was going to sheep the mobs when the pats went around, but he unfortunately jumped. They pulled, and
Yeah,
whatever
hindsight's
happened.
2020.
Yeah, if
We
there's
can all
anyone,
develop a plan off of what it looked like, and
Yeah.
if there's anyone we should add insult to injury to, it's that guy, is what you mean.
Yeah, not
Aw.
Desi.
Yeah.
Not Desi, that guy.
I feel
Yeah, I'm
bad
not
for
with
that guy.
him.
Though. That guy's gotten so much heat, but that's the thing, man. Like when people die in hardcore, like we all have made mistakes before. We all have done stupid
Yeah.
things in game. Like, if you die, like everyone's, I've done so much stupid shit. Like people always critique people, but you got to remember, like when you're in the moment and you're panicking and like you're not gonna play, like the chances of you playing perfectly are not, are very low, right? So it's like. Obviously, the more you die, the more you learn over time, and the better you get at it. But like, it's you can't really judge anyone until you're in that position yourself, and
It
you've
must
died.
be
Yeah,
it must be incredibly hard to try to play endgame if you haven't done it on a non-hardcore character, though. That's what I was
yeah,
sort of thinking with her. It's like I've died a lot in these dungeons. I've
Yeah, oh,
died a
yeah.
lot in Scholomance and in
yep,
Stratholme and in Dire Maul. I can't imagine being 60 and being like, I still can't die.
yeah,
Yeah.
But now I have to do like some of the content that I'm not like I know that content in and out. That's the only reason I would think about
yeah.
endgame is because I know it inside and out. But if I didn't, that's like a lot to take on.
I mean, yep. I was in Skull the other night doing it with a group, and we're running through that part where all those mobs are all those yellow mobs, and I'm like, all someone has to do is like accidentally right click a mob right here, or hit a button by accident, or multi shot in Blackrock Depths where all those guys are in the
Oh, yeah.
drinking. Like it's so easy to just make one little mistake and die from it. Like you have to all the time be at 100% focus, and not only can you get yourself killed, but you can also get other people killed, which is the fucked up part, right? So like
yeah,
you
that's
make
the
a mistake,
scariest part
it
is
is,
killing others.
That's
Yes,
why I
yes,
was so
yeah.
scared. And I know it's small, it's Dire Maul, but I was scared to death of like screwing up and being the reason these people died.
Yeah,
Same, especially
yeah,
as a
yeah.
healer, right, or a tank, right? You just think
Yep.
like usually a DPS might
Mm.
kill themselves, but they're not going to kill the whole group usually.
Oh,
Yeah,
well,
or-
we forgot while we're at Dead Mines, we're about to go up the ramp, and Mel fell off the boat.
Oh,
And then
God.
and then Nam goes, "Well, we'll drop down to her."
Yeah.
And so I thought he meant now. So I dropped down. He was like, "No, I meant like after the fight was over." I was like, "Well, I'm down here." Shit.
Oh
Luckily,
my
we
God.
had a warrior there who was able to take like the last. It was just two two mobs still up there, like half life, but it was bad.
This is why
Yeah.
I'm very afraid to dungeon with anybody.
Yeah, dude, yeah.
I'm willing to accept my own deaths. I'm not willing to accept a death that's caused by Mel jumping off the boat. I don't have it in my heart. I don't have
Falling
my
off the boat. I didn't
Okay.
jump.
She was like doing that thing where she's got her camera. All right, guys. She's walking to the side, then she just walks off the edge.
I didn't even like realize it happened. And then they were like, "Oh, Mel fell." And I was like, "Well, I'll just
Yeah.
come back up." And apparently it wasn't that easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was an instance where they were doing Elbers and a druid fell
I
on
saw
the
that.
yeah, you saw
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
on.
yeah, we
Yeah, that was on the Fs that
And-
we were on too.
Yeah, everyone's like, "Oh, should we jump down? Should we jump down?" And it's like, at that point, what do? Like, someone either makes the call a jump, like he's either dead if you don't jump, or you all jump and possibly because like, what if someone says jump, but only 2 people jump, right?
Yeah,
And like,
right?
a healer starts healing, and then the healer gets all the aggro, and then he dies, right? So it's just
Uh-huh.
like, do you just let him die, or do you try to save him? You know
It
what I
was
mean?
like a game of chicken too. It was like everybody was waiting
Yeah.
for somebody else to jump
Yeah, they
before
Yeah.
they made a
summoning
decision
him.
to jump.
Exactly.
There's only one correct answer from our analysis. What I
Mm.
take away, the only correct answer when that happens is the druid who fell needs to be like, let me die, don't jump down.
Yeah.
Because then it's like he looks like a hero, all right, first
Yeah.
of all. And then 2, it's like the only way to ensure it, and he's the only one that can make the call. Like if someone up top says don't jump down, you are a huge jerk.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Like,
I would have said Like during that, like the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the one. That's what I'm gonna say.
That's why it's better. It's better the guy on the ground makes the call. Then.
Yeah,
All right,
I'll
Spock.
remember that whenever I run
Yeah.
a dungeon with you.
yeah.
It'll be
The
like,
needs of the many.
Yeah.
All
yeah,
right,
it needs to
well,
come from you.
Yeah.
let's talk about a little TBC.
Hell yeah, dude.
Do we want to get into raid, or do you want to tell us like what you guys have been doing in TBC?
I just
Like,
want to say how
First off,
disappointed I am how fucking
fuck
easy
Blizzard.
everything is.
it's
Yeah, fuck
super
Blizzard.
easy now.
I cannot believe that they like, and I talked to a lot of people who still were 8 out of 10, and they were so upset that they nerfed before.
I feel like it's like half and half. The people that I run into.
See, here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. People have been asking since Classic came out to make the content harder, make the content harder. The content's too easy. The content's too easy. And then when they actually follow through and do a pre-nerf, people who can't kill the boss feel like they're obligated. Oh, I pay a subscription. I should be able to kill all the content. No, like having content out there that's hard to reach is a good thing for the game. Remember
Yeah.
when only 1% of the fucking population had killed Nax back in Classic? It made everyone else want to strive to get there.
Dude,
It
I
made
remember
those people who had the tier 3 look fucking awesome, right?
not
I don't want to argue too much.
Def.
I
It
feel like
wasn't
it makes people quit, though. It makes
well.
people quit.
True,
Not being able to
true.
clear content.
But like I here you can jump right
What
back into
happened
that. I
between
just
then
wanna
and now?
I
Because
just
like
wanna
Yeah,
here.
Bob.
Hold on. Let me throw this in. It wasn't just Nax. BWL. Like
Yeah.
if you
yeah.
walked around in Iron Forge with BWL gear, people were inspecting you constantly because only like 20% of the people playing were getting that gear. So
Are you talking about
it's
in
not
vanilla?
just in
Yeah, in actual
original
vanilla.
I was
vanilla.
like,
So it
nobody
wasn't
was in
just
Iron
Nax.
Forge and Classic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So sorry. Yip was next on that. Sorry. I just wanted
Well,
to throw that in.
my only argument is that it's a fact that guilds were breaking up and quitting because they were like 8 of 10 hard stuck, which is like I do agree with you on game philosophy that you are correct that the game is better when there's content that's unachievable, but when like I mean, you guys had to leave your server, right? Like there
Well,
are
but yeah, that's the other thing though. I think it's also because the servers were in such a like desecrated
Yeah.
state where it was so hard to recruit people that
Yeah.
were leaving. So like if
Yeah,
I
that's
feel like
where
if
we
the
are right
servers
now.
were in a better state where people were able to recruit people, and the other thing is I think Touch Me Nancy's hit on something as well, is that the mentality changed over the years, right? The fact that Blizzard made content for everyone made the mentality to where people now think that they are entitled to see everything.
Kind
Right,
of
so,
what
Retail.
Melderon
Go
was
back to
asking.
retail.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I feel the same way. We talk about this almost every week. I feel like we're coming up with new retail ideas. Bob reinvents the wheel every night. Any idea he comes up with is just something they've implemented in retail.
That is bullshit.
It's true. Literally everything anyone wants done to TBC ends up just being like a retail change, and I feel like we're just sliding into it. My only reframing of the situation is yes, it's incredibly easy and boring right now because it's like it's nerfed into the ground.
Mhm.
What if they had launched TBC like this? Like
Oh,
one, they could have
yeah.
launched it this easy, and two, I think people should be glad they didn't launch it this hard and all at once in phase 1. Like without having phase 1 and
Yeah.
phase
Yeah.
separate.
Yeah, I'm
Imagine
still
yourself
on the
progressing.
camp that I'm glad that they held it out. There's a
Yeah.
ton of like
Yeah.
streamers and YouTubers that say they should have put it all out, and that's fine to have that like that mentality. But I think it would have been horrible.
Me
People
too.
would
My
builds
biggest
would be
question-
shattering if like you're stuck in Karazhan, unable to kill Nightbane while people are
Mhm.
10 of 10 in SSC and TK. You'd be
Oh,
like, what the
yeah.
heck?
yeah, right. I guess my biggest question though is there was already a plan in place to nerf it, just like
Correct.
they nerfed all the previous content. So why do it early? That's my
Yeah,
only question.
yeah,
Is
true.
that I get that the content can be accessible to people in the next phase. There's people that have written in that say that they only do previous phase content because they don't have the time or the guild to do the current phase.
My
Right? Why
guess-
not just wait?
My guess is so they don't have to test multiple things. When the new raid comes out, they don't have to mess with testing the nerfed raid. And
maybe,
they
but
definitely
I think
fucked up the nerfed raid like the first day. Remember, everybody was getting saved to
Yeah.
TK, you know. So
Yeah.
I think Bobby
That's my
K wanted
guess.
more money. That's why I think they nerfed it. I mean, no, they were losing subs.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
plain and simple.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
why they did it.
Yep.
Like it's fucking sad because it's selling out. It's like what I said was what happened between then and now when Yip was like, yeah, they lose subs. You're right, they do lose subs. I know they do for a fact. The problem is that what happened between then and now, the player base is so what's the word I'm looking for? Frail and fragile that they feel entitled to do all the content when
we saw WoW happen.
there's only one raid ID. There's only one raid difficulty.
Right.
That's the way it was, and that's the way it should be. Yes, they nerfed in TBC, but it was even harder, right? It was like harder than what we got. So they gave the pre-nerf, like some shit was unkillable, like Muru and stuff like that. That's a different story.
Yeah.
But like, so they gave us they gave us the pre-nerf content. It was fun. It was engaging. Yes, guilds fell apart, and that was exacerbated by the fact of how bad the servers were. But that's the way it
Yeah.
should be. It should be natural selection. You should have guilds fall apart. Guilds fell apart in Nax, and people got reabsorbed in the bigger, better guilds. That's the way it should be. Like, I'm sorry.
I guess
Yeah.
You know what
I
I
guess
mean?
you're right. The
Yeah.
problem does stem back to the servers because guilds
Yeah,
fall apart
Mhm.
with nowhere for people to go. That's
Yes,
the
and I think that was the bigger issue. I think they didn't realize that. Like, all they had to do was like either merge or put out free transfers earlier, whatever you want to say. That would have totally negated that part of it. I think.
So
Or
I
helped negate it.
Yeah.
I agree with you wholeheartedly on like there's some stuff that shouldn't be able to be done. The only caveat I have to it is the same thing. I feel like each expansion should have a curve up. I don't think that the next expansion should be as hard as next. I think it should start each one should start just like a single player game and slowly ramp up in difficulty till you beat the game at the end of the expansion. And that's how I feel. You get the big bulk of people in at the start, and then the chiseled people who are left at the end are the ones that actually accomplish beating the game. Just like single player games, so many people don't beat them. They start out, it gets too hard, and they stop. And I feel
Yeah.
like that's how
Yeah, but
each expansion
single
should
player
go.
games don't have a subscription fee, right? So
Exactly.
they've already won when you buy the game.
Yeah.
You know, WoW is trying to keep you around,
Well,
and they're
and
trying
WoW
to make as
used
many
to
people
win
happy.
because they used to sell the expansion for $30 each time it came out.
WoW used to win because a majority of players were content questing and doing their professions in town. Now
Mhm.
everyone exclusively wants to min-max endgame, which is
Yeah.
where the problems
Very
are.
true, because a lot of people
Yeah.
just never even thought about doing endgame. But
Yeah,
we have
because-
lots of listeners that write in and say, I could never do this. That's why I listen to you guys and enjoy hearing about your struggles rather than listening to someone else who just kills it easy and like, yeah, it's easy, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
Only an
Like-
idiot
like
couldn't do
how-
this.
Like how Molten Core, everyone. So that's the part that's so hypocritical. Everyone bitched and complained about how easy Classic was because we had world buffs, and then as soon as you put in actual content
And
without
had
world
the
buffs,
real gear too.
yeah, exactly. And we had like everything was dephased. Like they gave you the best gear, they gave you world buffs. You know, all the fucking knowledge from private servers. Everyone's like, huh, Classic's so easy, bro. And then you go into TBC, which is just a little bit harder, right?
Yep.
Without world buffs, and people are like, this is too hard. I can't play. I want to be able to do everything. Like, come on, man.
Well,
Yeah, I'll be-
honestly,
I'll
I
be-
think,
kind of.
I think they
I don't
screwed
think
us
any
by
raids-
giving us Kara first because everybody went into TBC and was like,
So
oh,
easy. Yeah.
So-
it's pretty
Yeah,
easy.
yeah.
I don't know if you guys agree with this. I don't think any raid in TBC yet is as hard as Nax without world
Without
buffs.
world buffs.
No, I agree.
I agree.
Sunwell
Yeah.
will be the first one.
Yeah.
Because Black Temple and Hyjal are inherently not.
And
that
I got some bad news for you, Brian. Talking about Hyjal
Yeah.
and Black Temple, we have a lot of guys that raid with X Onslaught guys that are still raiding in high level guilds. Johnny Biceps, he's on my guild. He plays for I forget the other guild, and then Crix and everyone. It looks like, unfortunately, that Black Temple and Hyjal are post nerf.
Okay, so okay. Actually, I want to talk
Go
to you
to
about
DTR.
this
They
because
talked about it.
we
They came
yeah
out and said there was no nerfs. Right?
yeah. Okay, so we covered it in the last episode 2 weeks ago.
So
Blizzard
there were
came
no
out.
historic nerfs.
Okay, Blizzard said very little was changed on these two raids during the TBC time, so they
Oh.
plan on putting that out. But they said Sunwell did have a bunch of significant
Yes.
nerfs, so they
Okay,
plan
okay.
on doing Sunwell the same as they did this last phase, where
Okay.
it's pre-nerf and then post-nerf towards the end.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know if that's true, but that's what the devs came out and said.
So then
So
Black
that
Temple and
is-
Hydro are just naturally easy.
I know that it's true because any example anyone brought up, I went through the patch notes and they're liars. show me an example of a boss you think was nerfed, and I'll go look. People were
It's
like,
this
"Oh,
whole
mother Shazra or whatever. Like she used to do X and Y amount of damage." Nope.
well, and
I went through the
Okay.
patch.
I-
Okay.
and
I feel
I'm-
better
So,
about that then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I'm pretty sure these people really actually believe it, because it's probably the way it was on private
Yeah.
servers. And
Yes.
I
yes.
love Crix, because anytime he says any of this, he
Mhm.
says, but that was on private servers, so I have no
Yeah.
idea if this is actually
Yeah.
gonna happen.
Yeah,
You know,
I was roasting private server players 2 weeks ago, I think, because I was like, in vanilla, these guys they were at the top. They were like, this is how the meta works. These are the strategies. In TBC, they seem like crazy old lunatics who are like, Black Temple is supposed to do this much damage, and they just don't know what they're talking about
Okay.
anymore.
I feel
like
I feel a lot better now, because the way it was portrayed to me last night was that they tinkered with shit, and so I'm really happy to hear that, because I didn't go look at the homework, look at all the numbers. I was just going off
So-
what someone had told me.
I actually did Black Temple and Hyjal back in the day, and the guild we did it with, we had cleared everything. And the biggest issues I think that I remember back then weren't actually nerfs, but there were some bugs in Hyjal that I remember were initially came out with Hyjal.
Hyjal was super buggy. Yeah.
Yeah. So I
Because of the wave
remember-
spawning and all that stuff.
Exactly. So I remember back in the day we had issues doing Hyjal, and it was only for a couple weeks or so, but Black Temple felt very much the same throughout all of TBC, from what I remember. Again, this has been 15 years or whatever.
Right.
But for me, like I can tell you something. So we did Tempest Keep and SSC back in the day. We did Black Temple and Hyjal. When we got to fucking Sunwell, it was on a different level from like we couldn't even get past like this. We were stuck. We were doing trash. That's all we were doing for like months. Sunwell is on such a different level compared to Black Temple and Hyjal. So whatever's going to happen this phase, like I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. Obviously, hopefully they don't. It's not going to be in the nerfs in the state with all the bugs. Obviously, maybe I don't know what other people are talking about, saying that there's been minor changes, this, that, and other. But I think maybe like you said, yep, there was probably either some things with some bugs that were going on, whatever. But I do also think a lot of people played on private servers. I played on private servers, but I stopped at I think phase 5 on private servers. I didn't do Black Temple and Hyjal on private servers. So I think a lot of people have that memory of doing it on private servers. Private servers were inherently harder. Every raid, a lot of the raids were mostly a lot more difficult than they were in Classic, and back in TBC. But for those people who are, want a challenge, like there will be one. I think a lot of people are going to look at Hyjal and Black Temple. They're not a pushover. They're not pushovers, but they are not inherently as hard as pre-nerf SSC, especially Vosh and Chaos.
It's something so it's something interesting to look at. Like back in TBC, they came out with all of the raids right off the bat, right? And then they had to nerf all of this stuff because they're like, oh god, like our people can't even like get through any of this, right? And then they get to Black Temple and Hyjal, and they're like, okay, well, we're just gonna make it easier, right? So they probably made it easier right off of the bat, and then everybody beat it because they'd been hard pushed to get through all of this other really hard content. So I don't even know if Sunwell was ever supposed to really come out in TBC. Like, because I remember us thinking that there was going to be the next expansion, and then they're like, oh, Sunwell, cool. No, it's like, and it was like almost like it was an oh shit button, because they were like, we're not ready with the next expansion, and they just blew through Black temple. It's just a guess. I don't know if that's
I
true,
can
but
see
it's a
your point,
guess.
considering at that point you've killed all of the major antagonists, right? Because like then they just pull Archimon out of their ass, or not Archimon,
Kill Jaden.
kill
Yeah.
Jaden, right? So it's like kind of like I could see that maybe, but it's so well designed that makes me think no, right? Like Sunwell's super well designed, so I don't know.
I just wonder
know?
if Sunwell was supposed to be the first raid in Wrath.
Oh,
and
maybe.
that's
and then
why
they're like,
they
oh, we'll just put a
recycled
again.
Max. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
No one
just
killed,
yeah.
killed KT.
I've never
yeah.
heard that said by anybody. It's just a crazy
Well,
theory.
For
That's-
lore
I mean, yeah.
reasons, absolutely not. I'm gonna
Yeah,
throw
it
that
doesn't
out
fit in
there.
Wrath. Yeah.
So first of all, it does not just doesn't fit. The Kill Jaden and Archimon are the ones who they're like involved in bestowing the Lich King his power at this point in the lore. Like they're the ones who were messing with Draenor, who punished Ner'zhul and turned him into the crown of domination.
I
or whatever.
love it when
So-
Yip goes into lore
Well,
mode.
It's just the Lich King is below Kill Jaden, so you would never start an expansion with Kill Jaden and then work up to the Lich King. That's my
The Lich King's
main point.
below
Also-
Kill Jade, really?
The Lich
I
King is
had
below
no
Kill
idea
Jaden.
that.
Well, the Lich King
Any-
went off on his own, pretty much. The Lich King became his own separate faction.
The Lich King was supposed to be a puppet for the Burning Legion, but then he became
Yeah.
his own faction, basically.
Also,
Yeah.
the Isle of Qualdana, that's a blood elf. The whole thing about the Isle of Qualdana, Sunwell, this is all like tying into Kalthos, what he
Yeah.
was doing with Illidan.
Lore-wise, it fits perfectly in the TBC.
And
Yeah.
what I wanted to say is too, so originally in TBC, I think what happened was, yes, they did have a lot of the raids available, like up till Hyjal. Right, you could do the attunements and get them all. Although a lot of people, it's still, I forget how long did it take them to. It still took months and months. It still
it took forever.
with our raid a long time to even get to the point where we were, we had
Well,
SSC and
and
Tempest Keep.
That was before Attune and everything else. Like, people were so
Yeah.
confused. Like, normal people in good guilds were like, I don't understand how to get attuned to any of this
Right.
shit.
Yeah.
The thing was, though, Bob, is like there were other reasons why people weren't killing SSC and Tempest Keep as quickly as possible. It wasn't just because of the difficulty. There were also a lot of bugs with Tempest Keep and SSC in the beginning as well. So when people got there, the first raids that got there, the raids weren't even I feel like
tested.
Blizzard wasn't even ready to have them because exactly they weren't even fully tested yet. So I think what happened is people had got there probably a little bit quicker than Blizzard anticipated. A lot of the fights weren't like Kalthos was notoriously very buggy, was unkillable, and I think they were kind of forced to go ahead and make changes. And whatever happened with Black Temple and Hyjal, they might have had it in a state before where people didn't even get there yet. I you know what I'm saying? Like, well, they might have had and then they went ahead and fixed it, knowing that people were going to be doing that content soon. So maybe that's where people get the idea of post nerf or whatever. But I think what happened is they went in there and tuned it, knowing that people were going to go in, we're going to be doing these raids. Well, the other thing too is again.
Well, okay, so just to throw, sorry, I didn't mean to derail you. My whole crazy theory was based on you were not prepared, which made me and many of my friends think that that was the last boss because he's But sorry. Go ahead.
No, yeah. So I think what happened was, and this happened in Classic too, right? Like they had ideas for certain raids to come out in Classic, and I think when they designed TBC, they probably had at the beginning they had Illidan as the big bad, but just like in in other expansions where they add they either wanted to
expand the lore,
expand a little bit the lore, right? Or they could have even had more things for TBC that we don't even know of,
like they had for vanilla,
just like they had for Classic, right? Exactly. Obviously, Classic was more so because Classic was around for almost 3 years, right? They weren't, they were still exploring what they were going to do. So I think what happened with TBC is, Hyjal was a way for them to, put something out while they were working on Wrath and to continue the story. And it wasn't so much like, Illidan is dead and the expansion's over. It felt that way for a lot of people because it was like, okay, Illidan's dead, and then this other expansion is coming out because a lot of people didn't get into Sunwell and do Sunwell. Like I'd never cleared Sunwell fully, and I feel like a lot of people. I know there were more people who cleared Sunwell than they did Nax in Classic, but still, a lot of people didn't fully clear Sunwell by the time Wrath came out. I was one of those groups when Wrath was announced. We were still. I think it was Wrath was announced. I, I forget when it was, but when Wrath was announced, like a lot of people felt like, okay, like why do Sunwell? It's Wrath's going to be
Yeah,
coming
it's
out.
the same
People were
thing that
doing the same thing
happened.
with Nax, right?
Yeah, with Nax. Yeah, with
Yeah,
TBC dropping.
especially with the difficulty of these raids, right? Nax was inherently a very difficult raid. People knew that TBC was going to right around the corner. Same thing. It was a little bit of a different timeline with TBC. Like Sunwell was around longer than Nax was, but the same thing. People knew that Wrath was coming out. This was an inherently difficult raid. Why worry about getting our fucking our guild to fall apart when Wrath is. But the dailies were fun. People had a lot of stuff to do still. The thing is now in TBC, like right now with where we are right now, I can log in, we do all of our raids in one night, and I do our arena in one night, and that's it. Like I literally only have to play for 2 nights a week right now. When back in actual TBC, I was playing TBC every fucking night, and I don't know exactly what the difference was. I was
You've
farming. I was
leveled
playing
up, sir.
yeah, true. Yeah, well, I was also playing 2 characters, and I was also like PvPing regularly. I was doing BGs all day. I was doing arena all day. I was doing
But that was back when people did BGs for the sport of it and not for
exactly.
the honor
Yeah.
of it.
Just yeah. And I think, as a player back then, it still was new to me in a lot of ways, right? I did start playing in late vanilla, but I'm very much a TBC person where I feel like I learned the most about the game in TBC and I played the most in TBC. So I feel like for me, I was, I had 2 main characters. I had a priest and a rogue, and I even started leveling other characters. Even though TBC isn't that like great of an alt expansion, I still did play multiple characters, and I think Wrath is when Wrath comes out, we're going to see a lot more people playing alts because I had like 4 or 5 characters that I played pretty much regularly in Wrath.
Well, that's when you get the
Tabard.
the hand me down items. What are they called?
Yes, the
Heirlooms,
heirlooms,
and
the
you also get
spec.
and the tabard, which really helps
Tabard,
get
yep.
reputation. Yeah.
Well,
So you
here's the
can
thing: the tabard system's incredible because right
Yeah.
It is
now
awesome.
no one is
Yeah.
doing heroics,
No.
but you don't have like you can go to any heroic because you just put on the tabard of what you
Yep.
want rep for, and you just go spam heroics with your
I
guild name.
loved that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so much better
Yeah.
than right now where it's like I need to do dungeons on my druid. It's like I'm just either pugging or begging my guild. It's like I have to
Yeah.
feel a little
Yeah.
bit guilty. Like you have no reason to be here anymore.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Yeah, yep. If you
you're
want
welcome.
me to come, just send me a message. I'll log in, run
Yeah,
the dungeon, and log out.
send me a Twitch message real quick. I'm while I'm streaming, and get a $2 dono appears
and
on
yeah, and if
screen.
you sub, definitely I'll be there.
Yeah. To
As
wrap
soon
up
as I die on my hardcore character, I'll come help you.
to circle back to what this conversation was about, though, as my final point on this, which you guys might not remember, the other problem with the nerf or the problem with like Vash and KT being very very hard is that most of the really good gear is on those 2 incredibly hard end bosses pre nerf. You can't get your 4 set tier 5 unless you're downing one of those bosses, which is like that's a little bit rough. Come Black Temple and Hyjal, you can gear up while you're progressing, but the problem is, like, we
Definitely
were
feels
8 of
better.
when we 10 of 10, like, I don't know, ahead of the curve roughly, not super fast, but many of us did not need gear except from the last 2 bosses.
Yeah.
For, like, a couple of weeks, we were still running everything else at 8 of 10, before we killed those 2 bosses. So, I think that exacerbates, like, the problem where people are like, "Well, what am I raiding here every week for? Like, why am I still gonna be in this guild or even play TBC if I can't even get, like, my set bonus? This is getting crazy."
Yeah,
Yeah.
I kind of
I
understand.
mean,
Yeah, go
I
ahead,
don't know.
Melron.
I
Yeah.
get your point. Like I totally get it. But shouldn't they let the hardest bosses drop the best loot? Like isn't that
But
logically.
it's too stacked, I would say, like,
Mm.
overall. I mean, I'm not saying it's wrong. I think that that's just an issue. I think that's a reason why
A lot
you
of people
see
quit.
more
Yeah.
Yeah.
you see
Or
more people
whatever.
quitting now. But come Black Temple, you have off pieces in your set. You're gonna be getting more gear throughout the raids. And hopefully, my thinking is more people will be okay with not being full cleared come Highjaw and Black Temple. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe
Well, I
people will
think
still just whine and cry the same amount.
yeah, always. But I think one of the bigger problems was not that all of the best loot dropped off the last bosses, which it did, but also the knowledge of knowing all the best loot drops off the last bosses, and I'm like 5th in line to get it when if we get the
Mm.
last boss down and it only drops 2
Yeah.
pieces of loot, right? Like, I think that is a bigger issue, right? And
Mm.
so maybe having all of the best loot on the last bosses, but maybe it drops an extra piece instead
Yep.
of
Drop
the
one of each
standard piece.
token every
It
week
is
consistently.
it is
No, I'm
really
just saying
I
an
nice
hate
extra
though
piece.
that they
I'm
opened.
serious.
And if Morogrim could drop my freaking wand,
I
that would
just
be
got mine this week,
wonderful.
Mel. I just got it.
Ugh!
I still had the blue one, the soul, because the Karazhan one never dropped for me
Yeah,
ever,
Yeah,
and
yeah, me
I
either.
just got it this week. Yeah.
yeah, our
Yeah,
PvP priest, who comes
Mm.
in half or a third of the time, has the wand,
when
and
I'm
Mel
out of town.
doesn't.
Oh,
Half
Yeah.
half or a third of the time. Imagine
yeah.
being this arrogant about a bench player, Mel. If you want, you can be on the bench, and iPod can be a main raider if you'd like. What?
Whatever.
Hey,
So
you can't. We have a DKP system. You can't trash someone for winning items with DKP they
I
earn,
can when
guys.
I'm not there, and it has never dropped, and I'm always there.
I will
In
say
1 week, my internet's not good enough in
Oh.
Texas.
it is good though that they switched it to where now when we go to the next tier, we can not mess with any of those bosses. Kill Thos, kill Bash,
Yeah.
I
and
was gonna ask your guys' thoughts on that, if you liked the fact that you could go in and just kill the last bosses.
Yes.
I
I
mean,
feel
it's
like that was a
convenient.
good
Mhm.
It's
yeah.
convenient.
For
Yeah.
next phase, why do they do it now? That's so
yeah, I
Because
bizarre.
mean
they
Yeah.
nerfed
Yeah.
it, so they
I've
were just like,
Yeah.
"Whatever."
yeah, I like it for next phase is what I was
Well,
saying.
that's why I think it's not that bad to wait till the next phase to have those bosses nerfed because just like I said, okay, if you don't have that gear yet, right? Like I still don't have the mace from Vosh. I have Mercer's Gladiator mace, which is almost as good, right? But
Yeah, I
like
don't have the mace.
yeah, I think what happens is you know week to week, right? Hopefully you're progressing on these bosses. And for me, like it was an awesome moment when we finally did get Vosh down, right? Everyone loves that moment when you're working on a boss
Yeah,
and you finally get it down.
you got Vosh
Yeah.
down the same week that we got
PT. Yeah.
KT
Oh,
down
nice.
because we
Yeah.
did it opposite. Like we
Gotcha.
banged our
Yeah.
head against and honed our
Right.
skills on Vash, whereas you guys did the opposite with with KT. But we
Right.
finished at the same time, and it felt good.
Yeah. But what I'm saying, what I think is though, I don't think it's that bad of a thing to have to go back and say, okay, it's like the next phase came out, Black Temple and Hygel's out. But first thing we have to do is we have to go and kill Vosh and Tempest and Kalthos to get
Right.
that loot. Because like we're probably still gonna be doing that even the same as well, even though we've been killing them for over like a month or whatever now. Because there's still a lot of people that need that gear and certain things aren't dropping. So I understand your point, but I don't think it's that bad of a thing to say, hey, we still need to go back and kill these bosses. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's beneficial that you can do that and it doesn't add a whole extra raid day for you, right?
Exactly.
Like
Yeah.
that's what I think sucks is when
Mhm.
you have to go through all the content that nobody needs anything
Yeah.
from to
Yeah.
get to the last boss.
Yeah.
My real last point here is it's also our fault these nerfs came in. Keep in mind, they weren't shipping full nerfs multiple weeks ago when they said they were gonna nerf the last two bosses. They were gonna they're gonna make it KT like a little too easy, but they were doing almost nothing to Vash. They're making it so that the
Yeah.
MC targets could be CCable, and that's it they were doing on Vash.
She's so
We
easy now, man.
we begged them to put it off. They put it off, but the problem is it's so close to the next tier, they were just like, "Let's just launch the 2.4."
Yeah.
Like, let's just launch them at the end. So, like, it is crazy
Mhm.
that they launched it early, but I think that they, like I don't wanna say it's our own fault, but we pushed it so close to the next phase that they're in their
Yeah.
mind, they're probably like, "Why are we gonna ship, like, 2 different versions within a couple of weeks of each other? Let's just ship a
Mhm.
finalized version." So, I don't know. They did attempt to do a minor tweak first that we all said no to. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, well, guys, this has been a definite. I knew this was going to be a front-loaded episode. I didn't know it was going to be, 2 hours front-loaded, but it's been a great a
Really?
great
You didn't know
conversation.
that?
We do have to get to raid, so really quickly, we're going to
I
move
don't have to go to raid.
into the news. So there isn't a whole ton of news this week. We're only going to really hit on the chicken and then the next piece. So the chicken,
chicken.
I want to give Yip time to
I'm
talk about
so
this because he's talked about it a lot. So
I'm
Yip, take
so
the floor.
mad. So first of all, I hate this rebuttal. I almost want to freak out internally every time I say that stacking chicken buffs is clearly unintended and broken. You should not be allowed to stack chicken buffs. And then everyone rebuts me with, "Oh, well, at least they fixed it so you can't stack it infinitely on your own." Like, that is some sort of rebuttal to the fact that 5 haste buffs that stack is somehow overpowered. First of all, clearly overpowered.
Yeah.
Everyone says, "Oh, nerfing the fun in the game." It's broken. What
Yep.
else do you want? It is a broken mechanic that shouldn't exist. You should be allowed to have one. Fine. So they come out saying,
Fun
"Hey,
stealer.
we talked about this before." They said, "Hey, we talked internally and we decided we're not going to do anything. We'll still keep looking at it, but for now we like that it's fun." Okay, fine. I'm mad about that. Whatever. So then they put out another blue post, which is so aggravating to me. As in, like, they have internally, I don't know what they're doing. Literally, who do they have to approve these blue posts? Because then later we get a blue post. I kind of like the social interaction min-max guilds planning the professions that will be placed in each group. Here's a half-baked idea. What if the chicken squawk gave you tinnitus and was prevented by it, same as drum? So here's the thing. I love the idea of giving a tinnitus-like debuff to the chicken so that you can only have one chicken at a time. This post is suggesting it would be on the same debuff as drums, taking it from let's have a lot of fun with the chicken to the chicken is worthless. Everyone just
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What are you
So,
thinking?
Yeah.
so overcomplicated, like so fucking. Oh my god! It's like, this is the kind of shit that makes it like, why aren't they working on real issues, and why the fuck are they talking about stupid shit like this? And like,
Yeah.
getting,
Right.
They are working on real issues. We now have a male succubus. They're working on the real stuff.
That's right. Thank God.
I mean,
we have
listening to
fucking
how
succubus.
passionate Yip is about this chicken, I feel
Well,
like
within 1 week,
You're absolutely right.
we go from let's keep 5 chickens stacked to now let's not have drums and chicken be allowed at the same time. It's like what are you doing? What are you doing? Don't if you guys
Well, he
internally
did
don't know what
say-
you're doing, if internally you don't know what you're doing, fine. Do not put it to us. Like, let's just
He
shoot in
did
the
say
dark.
he hadn't totally thought it out.
listen, this is
like, I
very
don't care.
similar to my real life. Okay. So at work, I got people that send out emails, and I'm like, why the fuck would you send that email? Why would you not get that approved by me before you sent that email? Because
Yeah.
now I got to go back and send an email that
Yeah.
tries to not throw them completely under the bus for their stupid email that they just sent you. Or, hi, we're in COVID. How about we just cancel 72 kids because they touched the same toilet that some other kid touched that had COVID? Like, come on. This is just real life. Nobody approves these blue posts.
Yeah,
That's what happened.
Yeah, of
it's like
course no one
saying
does.
it's like saying we love the fact that you guys can have your cake and eat it too, but actually, you know what? We only want to give you a little piece of cake. You know what? No, fuck
No,
your cake.
we're just gonna
Fuck your
stomp on the fucking
Yeah.
cake.
Yeah. It's just bizarre. I mean,
Throw the cake in your face.
philosophy-wise, game philosophy-wise, you nerfed leatherworking, or you nerfed the drums because you didn't want people to go leatherworking, which I agree. Leatherworking is crazy just to go for a PvE benefit. Engineering is the sickest profession already. Like,
Mhm.
there's no reason not to nerf it similarly to leatherworking.
It's already
at least.
bullshit how you can fucking use belt in a so much shit is just. I hate the fact that
Oh,
belt
dude,
is
yeah,
a thing.
I do.
I think it should be like 50-50. I think it should half the time fucking backfire. That's what I
But
think.
it
Like,
doesn't.
would be
It
much
like
better.
almost
Yeah,
never
I
backfires.
know, dude. I know.
At least I can
Fucking
purge it. Fuck man.
yeah, but
Yeah,
still,
yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
as a priest who is our, like our, I'm like our tailor and our enchanter, and the fact that every other fucking priest has belt and I don't, it's such bullshit. It's such bullshit. But anyway, sorry.
I
Yeah,
dig
no,
this.
that's my whole spiel. It just feels like they got no idea what they're doing. Feels like
Yeah.
no one at Blizzard even plays this game, which is
Yeah.
probably true. Uh,
Yeah. I think.
Yeah, unfortunately, there are people that play it, but they're
Yeah.
obviously not high enough on the totem pole to actually
Exactly.
affect
and
change.
again,
Yeah.
Bob is right. This is just like a
Mhm.
random blue post that someone made like in response to someone on the
Yeah. Yeah.
forums.
I
But
like Nerdy's comment in chat. He said second post was probably after a bad meeting about the issue, and someone was just like, "Forget this damn chicken."
yeah. Yeah, I mean, listen, it's whatever. But 25 having all of them stack is ridiculous. And then nerfing it into oblivion is also pretty
Yeah.
ridiculous. Just like it's clearly not intended to stack. I don't know what else I have to say about that.
Yep.
It's like it's not even intended to always work, right? Like
Yeah. I'm surprised they haven't turned the chicken into a bowl of fruit or something by now. It's fucking.
Caw, caw.
Yeah. I don't like the fact that a chicken can also be called a cock. Can we get rid of this, please?
let me just point out too. I've been around the block during Wintervale, and if anything needs to be changed, it's these Wintervale outfits. If you go check out Odroni in some Wintervale outfit,
Oh, there we go. Yep, tomorrow they're
That's-
gonna be all in fucking.
that one maybe should be a bowl of fruit. It's like a little extreme.
Tomorrow
guys,
they're all gonna be
nothing-
dressed up as snowmen now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing was more frustrating than when Bob and I were leveling in Classic, and we both get the same like robe.
We
or
bought
something, and
the
I
okay,
put mine
so
on.
we bought the robe. It's like a level 40 something epic, and its use gives you mana. I'm sure a lot of people know what robe this is, but yeah, go
I put it on, and I'm like basically naked,
Yeah.
right? Like I
like
have no
G string
like,
and all.
yeah. Bob puts it on, and it's this freaking like ugly sweater on him. Like it looks like it covers every single part of his body, and I was like, this is not the same robe.
Yeah, I was pissed. I was like, I want to see my guns out. Like,
Yeah,
what's
right?
going on here? But no, it was just a robe, and she had the cool G string.
Nice. So this
Hell yeah.
robe is what is this robe? Is the one from?
It's the one. It's a world drop, and it's on use gives you mana.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a level 40 something one. But yeah, on females,
yeah.
it's like literally this little nightie, and on men, it's this like robe.
I'm gonna have to get that.
You're a male undead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to see it
You'll
on
be
female
disappointed,
undead.
'cause-
Female undead in that? Oh yeah, that would be. Or no, female Tarn in that would be.
Like, is she missing half a butt cheek?
I can see her
Yeah.
udders.
All right. Well, okay. So the last piece of news before we start winding it up is the Arena Season 2 is ending January 11th, and that means most likely a week or a week after we're gonna get Phase 3. Do you guys think that's right?
Yep. That's pretty clear and concise, I'd say. A week or 2 weeks at the most. Yep. Yeah.
Why not just tell us?
Yeah, right.
think-
That would be
I
too
think
easy.
I think too much is probably broken. I bet there's still some internal bugs they're working
Yeah,
on.
I agree. Or else they
Um,
would have.
Yeah, or they would have, I think.
Do you think it's possible that they could push it off even 3 weeks with an off season?
That would I not if they could help it. I
Okay.
would almost think that they would launch it with I mean, listen, we all talked about how KT was launched broken despite a long up PTR, and this PTR has been riddled with issues, so I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't
somebody's
I
in there with all the power, and they're just like, let's
They
just
must-
do it. Let's
I-
figure it out later.
It's got to be 2 weeks at the most, or they maybe wouldn't have pulled the trigger on the arena season yet. That's my hope,
Yeah.
but who
Yeah.
knows?
So does
I mean,
anybody?
is there a possibility that they could drop the next phase on January 11th?
No, because
I
there's an
don't
off
think so. Yeah, there's
season
got to be an
period.
off season for the
I mean, I
arena.
guess
I
they
mean, they don't
could.
have to drop the next season.
They specifically say it's not coming out that day, so I'm gonna
Mm.
just roll with that as the answer. They say then we're gonna announce like later in January that the next thing's coming out.
Great, because that means I can move and not have to worry about losing progression time.
Yeah, very nice.
Nice.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. Well, okay, so
It's all about me, guys. It's all about me.
I mean,
Did
that's
you call
every
somebody
WoW
at
player, right?
Blizzard, Meldron, and say,
Yeah.
"Listen, you can't drop it
Like,
then.
listen, guys, I'm
That's not gonna
moving.
work."
Fuck everyone else. Like, can you just make sure that it comes out after this
Like,
week?
I'll
After
stop by and say hi,
yeah,
being
I'll
in
be close
LA.
enough. I'll be close enough. Yeah, I can go down and say hi to everyone and have lunch on
I
Bobby
don't.
K's dollar.
Speaking
Uh,
of which, you better stop in KEC for some barbecue with us, by the
Yeah,
way.
man. I have to. I'll be in touch. Yep, I'll be in touch.
Okay.
I don't wanna wrap yet. Are we able to quickly talk about Road to Rag and the boss kills and
Well,
them
okay, first
doing
off,
that,
before
or
we do that, one real quick thing. Does anybody know how long this last arena season was?
I heard that they were exactly the same length.
So
I didn't calculate it.
like, was it 3.5 months then?
I
Don't
could
ask
probably
me.
do it, but no, I
Um,
can't do it by points. I'm
Because
trying to
okay,
think.
so my whole point was, if it was 3.5 months, that means when this ends, we get the 2 weeks, 3.5 months. There's no arena season for phase 5. So
Yeah,
then we
Phase
get another
4.
2 weeks, 3.5 months for the last season 4 of Arena in TBC. Does that mean that Wrath will be coming out in September?
They haven't even announced
Oh
Wrath.
my god.
I think they'd probably
Stop.
put it out like around November. I think that's what they would do.
Well, I'm just saying, if the arena seasons
Forget
have to be the
talking about Road to
same,
Rag.
if
Let's
the arena seasons have to be the same, and there's only 2 left, that would mean we're approaching 8 months till Wrath.
Yeah,
let me
maybe
ask you a
that's
question.
why they didn't have an arena season in phase 5,
I
so
changed
that
my
they
mind.
can just say, "Whatever, we'll keep that open as
Why
long
do
as
they have to
you
be
want."
the same? Why do
I
they
Well,
don't
have to be
know.
the same?
I don't
Competitive
know.
reasons, I think.
I think because,
It
like,
gives more people access to gear, right? So I think that there's a competition reason. Even though it doesn't really matter if you're like bad, it's not gonna help.
no, the
But
last season is going to be longer.
is
the
it?
last no, he's not talking about the last season. You're talking about the last season? Like the last season when Sunwell's out, probably gonna be extended longer than
Yeah,
normal.
absolutely.
Right. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess that's my point with
Yeah. Because it doesn't matter anymore.
is Wrath coming out at
Right.
the end of
Okay,
the
okay,
year
that's
or
going to
the
be
that was my question,
I
because if
think
they're
we
trying
cannot
to keep
know.
them the same, then we are closing in on 8 months till Wrath. But if they're not going to keep them the same, then we don't know.
Yeah. They can also close the arena season before the game's officially done, right? So
Exactly.
they can be like, oh, this arena season 3.5 months, even though
It's done.
there's 3 weeks of TBC before Wrath comes out,
That's probably going
or
to
4
happen.
weeks.
That
Yeah.
is going to happen. Yeah.
I mean, they could have a
Yeah.
month and a half of pre-patch.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
sorry, I just wanted to throw that out. We'll probably talk about it extensively some other time. But Yip wanted to talk about the Road to Rag bosses, so
Well,
let's
that's all
move
that's been
into discussion. Sorry,
A couple
that way
of
I
weeks
could use
ago-
my bumper. Go, Yip.
a couple of weeks ago, I tuned into a really great broadcast with you two involved, going in and killing Lucifron and that other guy who looks just like Lucifron, and it's just
Yeah.
as easy.
Snake people.
Gehennas.
Gehennas.
Yeah.
Gehennas. Did you guys have any thoughts on that? That was really my only thing. While we have both of you here,
So
Go ahead, Def.
I obviously no one died that week, but I think that there are going to be certain fights that are going to definitely kill people. So Gar being one of them, Baron maybe taking a few, like maybe even
I
Shazra.
heard Chaz was a lot harder.
Yeah, they're obviously. So the thing is that these fights, a lot of people in our raid have done them in Classic, but they're not the Classic fights. They have different mechanics. The thing is, everyone is prepared for them. Everyone has a shit ton of consumables ready. So we're probably going to minimize deaths, but there is the potential to have I don't think it will ever be a full wipe, because I think as soon as people start seeing that it's about to be a wipe, people are going to hearth out. But I think there's potential to lose anywhere from like 5 to 10 people in encounters. So the fights that I'm thinking are going to be like Domo, Rag, obviously, Gar, Baron. I mean, we could go all the way to Rag without getting too many deaths, but let's be honest, there are going to be some deaths. There are probably going to be some deaths on Rag. Do I think it's likely that we can get all the way to Rag without 0 deaths? No, I think that someone somewhere is going to die.
Oh, we already haven't, right?
We already had 1 death
In
in
trash.
a trash run. So,
Yeah.
and that was because someone snapped aggro right away. So, yeah, I think we're going to.
That was a crazy death.
It was a crazy death. I think we're going to do it. I think that it's going to be done. I think we're going to kill Rag, but I think we're going to lose some people in the way, definitely.
Yeah, I think a lot of people tuning in. So I thought it would be kind of easy with the
Oh,
two
yeah.
bosses because I mean, you bring enough tanks, then you can do the
Exactly.
bosses, right?
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people tuned in were like expecting people to die, and then it just
Yeah.
like the easiest raid because
Yeah.
everyone was playing at a high level, like
Yep.
everyone was just smashing DPS and
Yeah,
everything.
plus those
awesome.
bosses are, let's face it, they're a lot.
They're
Even with the new mechanics, they're easy, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Well,
So
and I
what do
mean, a
you
big
think? What do you
thing
think
is
is the
on those
most likely
tanks, though,
to
too.
die? What class do you think is the most likely to die?
Fury Warrior.
Yeah. Yeah, a high DPS target that's going to pull aggro, like what
A
happened.
melee high DPS target, like
Yeah,
the druid.
yeah,
The druid
yeah.
died.
Yeah, I
Right?
mean, like
Feral druid.
a warrior, like a rogue, if they're playing it safe, if they run feint every time, feint is a huge aggro debuff. Like nobody used it in classic, but I
Yep.
mean, it really works. Like it's what we
Yeah.
used in vanilla, and then they have they
Vanish.
can vanish, but warriors are fucked.
Yep.
Yeah.
Someone's
so
gonna zug
Warriors-
too hard, and
yeah.
then they're gonna pull threat, and they're gonna be in leather, and then they're gonna die.
Yeah, I've seen it happen
That's what's
where,
gonna happen.
the guy's like, okay, my threat's getting high, I'm just gonna white hit now. But then their white hits crit and then they pull aggro. Like it happens. Like
Oh,
as a
God.
warrior, when you see your threat getting high, you should stop DPSing in hardcore.
The
Why there's
only
only
thing
2
that's
Fury
going to help
Warriors in the
them,
whole raid.
yeah, the fact that they don't have Wind Fury is actually a buff.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they have Self. And they have
Yep.
Self.
But you gotta remember the tanks don't have Wind Fury either, right? So that's less threat coming from the tanks.
Yeah,
True,
well,
but
and
they-
the tanks are running deep prot too. Nobody's
Yes.
switched to Fury prot
but
yet,
Deep
right?
prod is
Yeah,
is
but remember,
more
Defcamp,
threat.
the warrior tanks don't have Self.
No,
So,
I know, yes.
it's a huge threat
I know,
buffer.
right? Yeah,
Yeah.
but so like the amount of threat that these warriors can put out within deep rot is actually very close to what I mean, it's like so. Here's the thing: deep rot is still puts out a fuckload of threat in classic. It really does. Like the amount of threat that a deep rot warrior can put out is still really good. So and the
As
thing
time
is,
goes
each tank-
on, it's just
Yeah.
like not as immediate as Fury prot.
Oh, Fury Prot was required for high pumpers because of world buffs.
Exactly. Those are
Required.
world buffs,
Yeah. But since
Well,
with no
no,
world
yeah.
buffs, yeah.
Deep Rot's still going to do really well. The thing is like the reason why I don't think it's going to be tanks that are going to be dying is because the way we're running it is like each tank has dedicated healers on them. The DPS don't have dedicated healers, right? They have like raid healers that are healing them. And if a DPS pulls aggro, he's going to get 2-shot and die, and that's what's going to happen. And we've done things like us paladins have a rotation on when the dogs are going to do their ability, even if it's not we don't know what the ability is. So a paladin will bubble, spam to spell just in case he blinds the because if we weren't able to dispel that blind, the tank would get blinded and the dog would go and immediately kill people, right? So they thought of almost everything. So I don't know, obviously, what the strategies are going to be for certain other fights, but Ompi is the raid leader in the main tank, and he's thought of almost everything for every encounter. So I definitely do think deaths will be a rare occasion, a rare thing.
Yeah, I think threat's the only real thing that I could think maybe might happen. The other one being someone standing in the wrong place, right? Like just totally
Yeah.
zoning out and being
Positioning.
like, I'm in the wrong place. Yeah.
Are
At
there
least there's
any
not
bosses-
Frogger, because
Yeah,
Frogger
that would claim the whole raid. Hardest
Yeah.
person next.
If you had to place like a death pool, like which boss are they gonna have to hearth out on? Like which boss are they
Well,
gonna
Ragnaros.
fail to
Probably
kill?
Rag, yeah.
But you think nothing? I mean, that's like the obvious. You don't think
Maybe
anything
Domo.
before that?
Maybe
Domo?
Domo. I think Domo. The thing about Domo is it could be a lot easier if they bring like a lot of tanks. Like a Domo will be easier if they like just bring a tank for fucking everything, right? So maybe Gar. I've heard that Gar has been very iffy. I could see a melee like maybe zoning out and just standing too close to a mob and it blowing up. And now the new mechanic is that the ads spawn ads, right? So it's like the other ads spawn little guys, right? And I think even those little guys blow up too, if I remember correctly. So maybe someone messing up Baron. But I think other than the obvious one being Rag, it seems like maybe the thing I would say maybe Shazra, but everyone's going to have resist pots, arcane resist pots, everyone's got we even have restorative pots for other people for certain fights where if people don't get dispelled quick enough and but I don't know, man. I think maybe Gar, maybe Baron, maybe Domo are the ones that I think would be the three top difficult other than Rag.
What would you guys do if you died in Molten Core?
I would be upset, but I wouldn't be too upset because I know that I was still a part of it. I would be upset if I died and then we didn't kill it. But if I died and then we went on to kill it, I would be okay. Like I would feel like I was still a part of it. I
You were
still
part of
helped
that
in
process.
some capacity. I was part of that process. Yeah. So it would suck losing a 60 hardcore character, absolutely. But I really feel like that if we were to die, and like the best way to die would be able to would be like dying on like Rag or something, right? Like
Right.
maybe like me, like saving someone's life or something like that with a lay on hands or a divine intervention. I don't know, something clutch like that.
You
But
saved the raid, but you
yeah, right.
sacrifice
Just
yourself.
sacrifice myself. Yeah. So
Freedom.
something like that would be pretty cool. But I think we're gonna surprise people. I think it's gonna be a lot cleaner than people think. Hopefully.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was what I wanted. The cool thing about hardcore raids too, consumes cost very little because you don't get
Yes.
to die.
Exactly.
True.
Exactly.
And there's no auction house inflation.
Yeah. Everything that's the other thing is like everyone has been so good with just sharing their wealth, sharing their consumes.
That's awesome.
All right,
Yeah,
guys.
super cool.
Oh, sorry, Melderon, you wanted
I
to
was just
end
saying
it
it's
up?
super cool process. I think it's really neat. Even though I'm not really, when I got to 60, I was kind of burned out by it all. I just was, focusing on TBC and now
Your
Halo
move,
Infinite, and the move.
yeah.
I think it's super cool, and I wish them all the best of luck. I mean, I did my part to try to help gear some people out by tanking a couple dungeons, and
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It was too soon as Exodus for me for vanilla, to be honest.
Mm.
It really
Yeah,
was.
I
But,
mean, the
yeah.
hardcore is the only thing that's intrigued me. I would not be
Yeah.
there at all. And I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, I'm not even trying to get to like Road to Rag with you guys, really. I'm just enjoying the hardcore scene and wishing
Absolutely.
I would have jumped in earlier so I would be with you for this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you haven't gotten past 30, so I don't know that that's
Exactly. But like if I had jumped in earlier, like I would have
Yeah.
learned these lessons that I'm learning every day.
It's all about the
Yeah.
journey, though. It's all about the journey. So
It's about the
The sad
friends
thing
we made
is I think
along the way.
our first duo was probably our best, and we
Mhm.
died to something so stupid. But we were like on a roll. We hadn't even encountered a situation where we were scared.
Yeah,
Oh
well, we had
wow.
one situation in Red Ridge where you
Yeah.
ran towards all the mobs instead of back the way we came.
But it was fine.
But
Well, I
okay,
can't wait to see
guys,
more of your
Yeah.
deaths, guys. I think that's
they are coming. They're coming hard and fast, like Brannigan's Law, hard and fast. But we are going to end it out today. We don't really have an add-on of the week. This was kind of a weird episode. Like we went real quick through discussion and news, but you know what? It was a fun episode. I had a good time. So
Hell yeah.
I encourage you guys to follow us on Twitter to know when we go live. That's at WC Reloaded. You can follow the Mash Those Buttons Network at the Mash Network. We enjoy your WoW stories and your emails. Send those to wcrpodcast@gmail.com. If you want to join the Discord, I don't even know why I still do the Discord because nobody ever pings us on it, but it's mash.gg/Discord. How can you help us out? We are dry on reviews. We're at 97 stars. Not all of those are reviews, but we're about to hit 100 on iTunes. If I could talk you into just give it a star or writing a review would be even better. That would be
Preferably
awesome.
5 stars, not just a star. 5 stars is preferable.
Mm.
I mean, I think
You
that's the only option. So,
Yeah.
as long as you just do that, it'll be good. You can also leave reviews at warcraftradio.com/directory. You guys have been doing good at that because we're one of the highest rated pods on that site. So
Nice.
definitely keep sending us there. And yeah, I mean, we're gonna get out of here. We got to get to raid. I guess we're gonna raid next tonight, which is gonna be weird but
We probably
exciting.
won't. We'll probably end up doing mag roll AQ, like the first couple bosses in AQ.
AQ?
Oh God, good luck with that, guys.
We got Petrified Scarab, Batch of Swarm Guard, a couple really good items still in there. The problem with Nax,
I'm sick,
the
actually.
the good stuff in Nax is at the end.
Dude,
And
I'm actually excited as shit
Uh,
about this because I didn't DPS as a caster at all in Classic, and
are
like
you friendly with
this sounds hilarious.
Are you friendly with the whoever you need to be, Argent Dawn, in order to get into Nax anyway? That's our other problem.
Nope,
I
I'm
don't
not
even
friendly.
know.
If you boosted and went straight to Outland, you can't immediately get into Nax
Well, I
anymore.
Yeah, we had to get a
definitely
couple people.
didn't boost. Like my lock, I worked up from the start. Remember?
Yeah, I do remember you sitting in Maradon and
The shade, the shade. All right,
My
well,
priest is not a
Dick. I mean, Yip. Where can we find you?
Hi, you can find me everywhere at the Yip Show, I think, on Twitch, YouTube, and Twitter. Put up a
Nice.
The
little
Yip Show, I
Warcraft
think.
logs guide. A lot of people don't know how to use Warcraft logs. Put up a little guide for you. Go watch it and then learn and get better at the game, please.
Well, I'm glad you
Especially if
put.
you're in Mark Flockin.
I'm glad
You're
you
in
put
my guild.
something
Ouch.
on YouTube because I've had a bunch of people pop into my chat and say, "Hey, I went to Yip's YouTube, but he has nothing new."
Listen, I made a bunch of tank guides, and then all the bosses were nerfed almost. So like, it made me. I was like, first of all, the
That makes
bosses got
sense.
nerfed. Second of all, I swapped main. I don't know what to put up, but so that's why I made that. But
Awesome,
I
awesome.
also have a Bob. If you listen to this on Monday, there's also a great video of me making fun of Bob. So go look at that.
I'll definitely have to check that out. Mel, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Mel Overwatch or in game and Mel Arena. That's really probably where you should find me.
And Defcamp.
Usually on hardcore, unless it's Tuesday or Thursday.
Yeah. And Defcamp and Melderon, I know you guys are like found at the same spot. So who wants to take on where you can be found? Maybe Defcamp because
Defcamp, yeah.
you
Yeah.
stream a bunch.
Yeah, you can find me and Melderon is there a lot with us as well at twitch.tv/defcamp, DEFCAMP.
And
We also have
you're streaming solely on Twitch now, right?
Yes, I'm exclusively streaming on Twitch now. We still upload stuff. We're gonna be uploading some more stuff soon to YouTube channel. The YouTube channel is Defcamp and Melderon TV. Right now we are probably gonna be uploading like some stream clips and other things, but we have some other things in store as well. But yeah, primarily right now you can find us at twitch.tv/defcamp.
Awesome, awesome. And you can find me on Twitter at blazin_Bob. That's BLAZZIN_BOB. You can find me streaming all the time now on twitch.tv/blazinbob. Like literally all the time. Got a small chat, but it's quaint. We have a good time, and you guys teach me a lot every day. So come and help me learn.
Oh yeah, you can also find me on Bob's stream at night, not
Yep,
his daytime stream.
often.
I don't do that.
All right, guys, let's get out of here. Awesome episode. Thank you guys so much for coming. Like, it's always a good time with the brothers.
Hell
yeah.
With the brother.
Thanks, guys.
The Brothers.
All right, guys.
Yeet.
All right.
Peace.
You can stop your
Wow.
local recording, but we're going to
Stop
raid
Alright.
somebody.
recording. Raid
Stop
somebody.
it now.
Who should we raid? Who's on?
Export as wave, Defcamp.
Yes, please.
File export as wave.
Okay, so I stopped it. Wait, stop.
We should
Okay.
raid Desi. No, let's go. Can we raid Gordon Ramsay?
Oh yeah, he's great. He's the guy who kited his
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
export as wave. Okay.
Can I point out that we only have 4 people in our Raider channel at 9:01?
Why?
Just name it Defcamp Def.
Yeah, well, we have a bunch of people in
in
raid.
videos, does it matter?
Oh,
right?
now there's 8.
What?
Why don't I have him
Where
followed?
did I save it to, Melderon?
Right here.
I just said the desktop.
Oh, okay, that's that.
Yeah, everyone's here in the podcast right now.
Right.
That's the fun.
Name it Defcamp.
I
gotta
was
find that
almost
link.
positive I had him followed, but I don't see him live at the moment.
I linked you.
Yeah,
Oh.
I got it. I was just like trying to find him in my stream. All right,
Is there
guys,
any other-
tell Gordon we love him and tell him Warcraft Reloaded for life.
Hell yeah.
Bob, can you relink that the file share?
Yeah, I'll
Wait,
do it
link.
as
Oh, yes,
soon as
please.
we do this raid here.
Sure.
As soon as we do this raid. Oh, that raid.
Bye, guys.
See you
I
guys.
was like, bye. I was like, you're waiting till the end of raid?
All right, hold on. Let me
Do I have
stop.
to do anything